Christmas spirit. Hello, fellas. Welcome to Gavin Games. This is Papa Chaff. Good to see you. Ravno says, "I love the fake bricks." They're totally fake bricks. Yeah. Well, you think it's not lit yet. You know, I don't know how to do lighting, but it'll look a little bit more like real bricks. But it's better than what it was, I think. You let me know. Anyway, the point is, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're into the holiday season, which I love. We got a lot of great stuff coming. Ooh, it's snowing. This is so high tech. Welcome to Gavin Games, fellas. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being patient as we started a little bit late today. This is a packed motherfucking show. I'm going to bring Bukkake Drive-By in just 1 second. Okay, 1 sec. I'm bringing him in real quick, and then we will get started. There's a lot going on. And obviously tomorrow we have the Game Awards as well, which is going to be a big deal. Let's bring old Bukkake in here. Bukkake, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you guys hear Bukkake okay, or is he too quiet? I know I owed you a call like 45 minutes ago, but I was so busy doing everything that I didn't get a chance to do it. How is your holiday season going so far, Bukkake Drive-By?
It's going great. I don't know. I don't really care. It's just another
You don't give a fuck?
for me.
You don't care about the holidays? I love the holidays, man.
I mean, most of my family's not in the country, so it's not really a time for me to celebrate anything.
It's because you put them... I'm not going to even say it. I'm not even going to say it. Yes, I am. That's because you put them on the last plane to Gaza. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Listen. What games are you playing over the holidays? What are you playing?
I'm making my way through Super Mario RPG.
Have you finished Wonder?
I haven't got Wonder. I don't know. With the RPG, it's like a nostalgia thing. I really love the original.
Yeah.
And the new one is pretty much exactly the same, so it's cool.
You saw Godzilla the other night, right? Godzilla 1?
Minus one.
Whatever.
Okay, get it right.
Everybody says it's great. Is it worth seeing?
It's like the best movie I've seen all year. It's
really?
Fantastic.
Outside, wow. Okay, I'm taking my kid. One of my kids wants to go see it. We're going to go see it this week.
Yeah, I went with my friend, and like afterwards, like we both agreed, like this isn't just good for like a Godzilla movie. It's just a good movie.
That's what people say. I hear that. People say even the human part of it, like just, you know, it's not like other Godzillas where you're just like, please, could Godzilla get on the screen? You're just like, yeah, Godzilla's awesome, but you still want to fucking watch the movie.
Well, and when Godzilla shows up, usually I'm like, fuck yeah. But this time I was like, please don't. Like, don't ruin this guy's life anymore, please.
You're growing up, Bukkake. You're getting invested in the human drama of it. See, we knew. You're all grows up. Listen to me now. Here we go. Gavin Games, fellas, I want to kick off on a bit of it's not sad news, it's hopeful news, but a buddy in the industry needs a little bit of help, and then we'll get into the fun news. But I do want to point this out. It's kind of pathetic that we live in a world, at least in a country, where America doesn't have great healthcare systems. But right here, that's not what you want to be looking at. That's you guys. That's the chat. Hang on. I've had a whole reorganization of this studio room, office, whatever the fuck it is. And in that, you know, I've kind of fucked shit up a little bit, so I apologize. Why is it showing you guys that? I don't want to show you that. I want to show you... this? No. I want to show you...
You've had like a week to figure it out. What the fuck?
Bitch, shut up. Listen, here's the back. Why is okay, are you seeing, what are you seeing on the screen right now?
The chat.
God damn it, Maverick. Why? Oh, I know why. I'm an idiot. Here we go. Okay. Okay, Scott Rogers, buddy of mine, he was a designer on a lot of things, including the very first God of War. This is the second bout of cancer. They are trying to raise money. It's pathetic that people need to raise money for cancer or anything when they're sick in this world, in this country. But here you go, and I'll put a link to it if you're interested. Before we get into the show, I just want to tell you some of the stuff. Oh, shit, there's no audio, right? They're telling me there's no audio. Can you hear me?
I can hear you here and on YouTube, so I don't know what the fuck you're
Fuck
talking
you,
about.
Archon Johnny. He's a piece of shit. Yeah. So this, it sucks. You got to raise money and help people for That's bullshit, but it is what it is. This guy's been around, man. He worked on Scribblenauts, Darksiders. He worked on God of War. He was one of the guys who worked designing the opening Hydra level of God of War. Maximo versus Army of Zen. He was the lead designer on Ghost of Glory, Pac-Man World. He's been around. Also, he has written a number of great books on design, tabletop design, Level Up, and mobile design. I actually did the foreword for Level Up. And I also will let you know that the guy does board games. He did the great Alien Fate of Nostromo board game that came out last year, Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, Marvel Villainous. The guy is a warhorse, and if you are interested and you want to help this guy out even just a little bit, because I know he has certainly brought a lot of entertainment to you guys. Sadly, I'm sure he doesn't want to ask, and it's pathetic you have to. It just drives me batshit, but it is what it is. And if you want to help him out, I put the link in the stream. Okay, Scott, you're in my thoughts, pal. Get better. Bukaki's going to tell you something sexy and hot to make you feel better. Go, Bukaki.
I like your bald head. It looks cool.
I saw a movie once called Tape Heads where John Cusack went up to somebody and said, I want to spank your bald head and lick it. And he did. All right, let's move on. Tomorrow night are the Game Awards. I will be hosting it, not the Game Awards, but our live stream with my good pal Gene Park of the Washington Post. We are trying to get a third host. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a third chair or not, but it'll be Gene and I. Gene's going to be eating the edibles. I will be smoking the pot, and we will be watching the show and talking about games and taking your comments and making fun of the show and enjoying the show, blah, 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 blah. So this is going to be...
Am I invited to that?
Goddamn right. This is going to be 4:45 tomorrow evening. Speaking of cancer, Gene Park just beat... I'm getting to that age. Everybody I know is getting cancer. Gene Park just beat cancer twice, though. Look at that motherfucker. Okay. Gaz will be joining. Oh, he confirmed it. Oh, good. We invited Gaz. I hadn't heard back from him. Oh, wonderful. So it's me and Gaz and Gene. All right. Good news. Good to hear. Thank you, Alex. All right. Let's move on to the actual news of the day. Tomorrow, this is the rumor that's been going around, and if anybody in the chat knows what these folks are talking about, a bunch of the Xbox guys have been posting about some big rumor, and stay off the internet if you don't want to know it. But apparently there's some really good Xbox reveals coming tomorrow night, so pay attention to that. What do you have any idea what it could be, Bukaki? Probably one of these games they've, already hinted at, like a Banjo-Kazooie or something like that. What do you think this game's going to be?
Well, it'd be cool if they did something with their fucking premier IP, Halo, that they basically left untouched since they released it, a year ago.
That is absolutely unfair, and I can't help but be racist. It's not accurate. It's not accurate. No, the new Halo has gotten great. I think it's season 5 now. They've got Forge that's been in for a while. That's integrated now with actually being able to level up your character. The season passes are better. There's new modes. I highly recommend checking out Halo again if you've kind of gone. I
ain't talking about the multiplayer. I'm talking about the
single player.
Their 10-year fucking plan for you to just play infinite.
Oh, I thought that was Starfield, but I guess it's infinite as well. Well, yeah.
Well, every new game that comes out now, it seems there's a 10-year plan to keep people playing it for 10 years.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that in just a couple of seconds because it's actually affecting a lot of other things. But yeah, absolutely. But no, Halo's gotten better. Somebody in the chat is saying they're hearing that it's a hardware refresh. RN4L says hearing it's a Blade Wesley Snipes game. Don't believe that. Because the new Blade is going to be with a different guy. What's the guy's name? Ali?
Mahershala Ali or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
so if they're going to do a Blade game, they're doing it, based on that, I assume. Daxter makes my heart aflutter in the chat. He says Indiana Jones is what I was hearing. Man, I would love that. Tones McGee says rumors Dishonored 3. I don't care. I know Arcane is supposed to be showing a game tomorrow night, but I don't give a rat's ass if it is that one. I'm just not into that franchise.
If they're hyping it up like this, it's got to be something big.
Yeah. Well, they're not hyping it. These are guys saying, "Hey, we know about this. don't spoil it for yourselves. The rumors going around, but clearly in our chat, people have seen lots of different things. So we'll find out tomorrow. Welcome back from retirement, says Twisted Sith. Been a member for 21 months. Thank you, buddy. You old so-and-so. I knew retirement wouldn't suit you, but I know you had to try it for a while. I didn't retire, motherfucker. My computer was busted. I found a wonderful computer repair guy, but he's very thorough, and it doesn't matter. The point is it's back. We're all back. Welcome back to the show. More importantly, Twisted Sith, thank you so much for supporting the show and being a pal in our community for a long time. Listen to this. Speaking of games, Player's Voice is now down to 5. This is the 100% fan voted award that they'll give out tomorrow night. All these awards are stupid. You know what I think about them, but I'll tell you if you're curious what the ones are that got in. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty Game of the Year. Now that's pretty good because a lot of people are like, that's DLC. Fuck you. People say it's great. I haven't played it yet. Go fuck yourself. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is in there. I liked it a lot. I don't know if I would consider it Game of the Year. Did you play it, Bukaki?
No, I wouldn't waste my time playing that. What the fuck are you booing
for? You didn't even play it.
I played the first one. What's different about the second one?
Not a lot. It's really good.
So
it's really
what
good.
am I missing out on then?
It's just a really good story, a really good adventure.
A really good comic book story. Get out of here, dude.
All right, fair enough, you fucker. I hope you burn in hell tonight. Now listen, Baldur's Gate 3, which, I really like this game. I'm not getting the Game of the Year thing I haven't finished it, but I've put in like 20 hours and I'm really enjoying it. But I'm not figuring the Game of the Year thing on this title, but a lot of people seem to think it.
I can get behind that.
Have you played that one?
Yeah, that one's excellent.
Okay. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I can totally see that. That's up for Game of the Year for the players. And then Genshin Impact. Go fuck yourself.
Boo.
It's not called Genshin Impact. Go fuck yourself, but it might as well be. Isn't that terrible? There are millions of people around the world that enjoy Genshin Impact, but I just think it's dumb.
It's vapid, insipid garbage.
Yes, I agree. Listen to this, Bukaki. Benjamin Martinez has been a member for 37 months. He says, welcome back from retirement, you all. I didn't retire, Benji Martinez. 37 months, though, supporting the show. Thank you, buddy. I very, very much appreciate it. This goes out to you, sir.
I thought you were reading the same one from last time.
No. He's plagiarizing someone else's super chat. It's unheard of. Listen to this. Speaking of games that people love, GameSpot released their top 10 best games of 2003. At first, I figured this is pretty good. Instead of saying this is the best or that's the best, because y'all know I think that's fucking stupid, I figured they would just list the 10 and say, here are the 10 best games we played. But lo and behold, everybody likes clickbait, everybody likes a horse race, and we're not going to know until the day after the Game Awards which of the following 10 games they say is the best. But I'll tell you what they put up for nominations. This is over at GameSpot. Alan Wake 2, which I have been enjoying. I have not been enjoying it in the same capacity of, a lot of people seem to like have their fucking minds blown. I haven't had my mind blown yet, but I love it. Baldur's Gate 3, there you go. Phantom Liberty, nice to see that there. Hi-Fi Rush, I loved. I don't think it's Game of the Year, but I think it's a really good game. Hitman Freelancer, haven't played. Tears of the Kingdom, of course. Octopath Traveler 2, I couldn't get past the first one, so I didn't play the second one. People who like this kind of game say it's great. RE4 Remake was a goddamn gem. Street Fighter 6, I'm not qualified to speak on it. It looked great. It was kind of fun, but I suck at it. Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Okay. And there you go. We'll see which one that they say. Out of those, Bukaki, if you had to give the award, who would you give it to? I'll give them real quick. Super Mario, Street Fighter, RE4 Remake, Octopath 2, Tears of the Kingdom, Freelancer, Hitman, Hi-Fi Rush, Phantom Liberty, Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate 3, and Alan Wake 2.
That's tough, man. But probably the one I played the most would be Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. It would not surprise me. I mean, do you think Tears is better than the goddamn Baldur's Gate 3?
It depends on what you're looking for. If you just want straight gameplay, like you just want to play a game, yeah, Tears is better than Baldur's Gate. But I don't know, the narrative part of Baldur's is better. Plus the character creation and things like that. The quests are better.
Right.
And I would say the same for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, so, I can see that too. Yeah, I mean, that's why the whole thing's stupid. But it'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to, get high on. Brett Moore says Hi-Fi Rush is not overrated. It was fun beginning to end. I don't disagree, Brett Moore. I thought it was fun from beginning to end. But and frankly, I had more fun playing that than I've had playing Super Mario Wonder so far, which I think is great. But I certainly don't think either one of them should be Game of the Year. But, whatever. It's personal. Now, listen. I'm assuming we're going to jump right into the Sony Bungie stuff because that shit's crazy. Crazy. The folks at Naughty Dog must be just like, karma's a bitch, ain't it, motherfucker? But I'll tell you what. These IGN broke this story today. They spoke to at first they were unnamed sources. Now the sources are coming out and they are Bungie employees, and it sounds like they're in a shit ton of trouble. So that just leaked who they are. The story actually broke. Did you see the story this morning, Bukaki?
Yeah, I saw some stuff about that, yeah. Okay,
well, we'll talk about the meat of the story because it's interesting on its own, but the fact that they actually now know, because you never hear, I don't know if it's IGN, you never hear Totillo's sources being leaked or anything like that. But we actually know the names of the people who leaked this shit to IGN. Would you like to hear them?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. It's Cody Thompson, Lee Perez, Ron Tanuki, Zach Procrastinates, Alex Blocks, and Eddie Torres. You goddamn right. It's the God of War members that keep this goddamn show on the straight and narrow. Thank you, fellas, for being the Gods of War. Thank you for supporting the show, and thank you for leaking all that information over to IGN. Now for the next month. You keep
getting me with those.
Listen, for the next month, just like the plane crash from Twisted Metal, people are going to be like, did those guys really work at Bungie? No. But this is absolutely true. Bungie. Let's get to this story. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. And if you're Neil Druckmann, he's probably going to take the high road, but he's probably sitting in his office laughing, going, you sons of bitches. You sons of bitches. I prayed to the voodoo doll or whatever it is, and it worked. Listen to this. The board of directors at Bungie, if you don't know, when Sony acquired Bungie, there were 5 dudes. Okay, PlayStation Studios got Herman Holst and Eric Limpel, the senior VP, on the board. Bungie co-founder Jason Jones, Bungie CTO Luis Villegas, and Bungie CEO Pete Parsons were the 3 on Bungie. Pete Parsons was only going to come in if they needed a tiebreaker, right? So it was a blend of the Sony people and the Bungie people making decisions. And because there were 3 people on the board, I guess that was where it was like, yeah, they're going to be independent. They're going to be multi-platform. They're going to have the freedom they've always had. What everybody kind of took from it was, we are going to acquire their knowledge about multiplayer, games as a service, all that shit. And that was the real value of it. Not so much to be like, put Marathon only on, PS5. However, now things may have changed. There was something in the contract or in the agreement, which is really interesting, where if Bungie falls short, this is again from IGN, of certain financial thresholds, by a certain amount, Sony is allowed to dissolve the existing board and take full control of the company. Think about that, which means they could be forced to make this kind of game or that kind of game. They could be forced to go, oh, you're going to make a single-player thing, but you're only going to put it on PS5 and PC. The final shape, which is the final Destiny 2 expansion, has been delayed. Bungie is investing heavily on Marathon. Many employees, according to IGN, understand that Bungie is struggling to meet the necessary targets to keep its freedom. Such takeover wouldn't necessarily be shocking, but it would nevertheless be a stunning development. For a company that's prided itself on its independence. So Bungie, listen to this. When Bungie laid off 100 people recently, everybody's like, that wacky Jim Ryan, what's he doing? According to this reporting, that wasn't Sony. That was Bungie's leads going, look, we got to cut costs so we make our target, right? So they have made life at the Bungie studios. Apparently, this is a quote, soul-crushing. Soul-crushing atmosphere is what one of the anonymous sources has said. It is like there. I'll tell you some of the things that they have done. I'll get to the chat. I'll get to Bukaki in a second, but I want to get you all the data here because this is crazy. So listen to this. They did all these cost-cutting measures. Studio-wide hiring freeze, reduced travel budgets, elimination of holiday bonuses, annual Bungie Day, which I guess was a thing. You used to go out to the studio. Now it's virtual. They got rid of something called Pentathlon, which I guess if you're into Bungie, you know what that is. A lot of morale events like cooking classes and knitting classes that, okay, got rid of, or they moved those from monthly to quarterly. They're ending benefits like employee compensation adjustments to meet the market. They had a new hire lunch program that's gone. I mean, they have really fucking said every penny, motherfuckers, we care about. And it's weird because apparently the people who work there are not getting any kind of love from the bosses who are making these decisions. Bungie had historically been a company that this was the funniest part. I mean, it's like when you are the king and you have tons of money in the bank and you're sitting pretty, it's easy to be a mouthpiece for PR. And it's like, oh, we're independent and we have all these diversity hires and who they got rid of, the leads of the 3 diversity sections of the studio. When the rubber meets the road and everybody is struggling to stay afloat, all that shit goes away. And so the team is really unhappy. And listen to this. This is amazing. The mood in the studio, like I said, has been soul crushing. This is from IGN again. It doesn't sound like management is making any significant efforts towards improving it. According to those still with the company, employee frustration and sadness in the days and weeks following the layoffs was met with surprising indifference or outright flippancy or hostility from the management. Several people we spoke to told us that the leaders at Bungie had reiterated across multiple meetings that they could not guarantee there wouldn't be more layoffs, with 2 specifically reporting that Chief People Officer Holly Barba blah 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 stated layoffs were a lever the company would pull. This is the last thing I'll read to you. I don't like reading to you. I like talking to you, but I got to tell you this. Others say they were rebuffed repeatedly and discouraged from even discussing the layoffs when they brought them up to their bosses. Employees in one department recalled a post-layoff Q&A session where, listen to this, where a department head was asked if leadership taking salary cuts to prevent layoffs had been considered. In other words, are the big bosses going to lose some of their money and maybe help us stay employed? What they were told is Bungie was, quote, not that kind of company. Oh my God. So, I mean, but again, all of this shit is the same as it ever was, which is to say that, all these guys and girls talk a big talk. And, that's what I'm saying. I just, people get mad at me when I do this show and I kind of pull back the veil on how the sausage gets made. But ultimately, this is how the sausage gets made. It's like, no, they're really nice. Phil Spencer really likes it. And this thing. You are a cog in their machine, people. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how it works. It's when you buy into this bullshit baloney that kind of worries me a little bit. It worries me a little bit. Brett Moore drops $5 super chat. Thank you. He says, hey, I think Sony should buy Rockstar from Warner Brothers. Oh, Rocksteady. I can't talk about Suicide Squad, but I want them to have more freedom. I did not get a chance to play the beta or the alpha this weekend. I got in, but I didn't get a chance to play it. I've heard mixed things about it. Okay, Bukaki, what do you think about this going on at the Bungie?
Well. Look, I loved Destiny. I played since the first one. I was like deep into it. And every time they were coming out with an expansion or something, they did this big buy doc. And they had a bunch of different employees talking about how great it was working there, that the environment's great. The company cares about us so much. We love working on this stuff. And what do you know? They're fucking full of shit.
Well, I mean, it may have been that when they were sitting pretty. I mean, that's the thing that's so disappointing about all this shit. But I guess once you live enough and work enough in corporate life, you realize it's horseshit. It's not that they necessarily didn't believe what they were saying, but it's kind of like what they say, a person's character is really only on display when life is difficult. It's easy when you're riding high on the hog to talk about, to say what people like because you got no problems. But,
yeah, of course.
So I don't know if they were lying, but now that the money is going, it's like, you guys, I don't know what these guys make, but it's like, take a fucking pay cut. I get they have to, cut back, but
they've just had a strange history, like overall since Destiny. Because I remember, they started out independent, and then as the workload got bigger, they were outsourcing stuff to different studios.
Yeah, they said that they're going to be doing that a lot, and that's pissed off some people too within the company.
Yeah, they were already doing that, and then Activision scooped them up.
Okay.
And then they were kind of saying like, yeah, this kind of changed the direction that we were trying to go in, so now we're gonna go back to just being us again, and it just got worse. So who
Well,
knows what's really going on over there?
well,
I mean,
here.
obviously, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Obviously, what?
Obviously, like, what it not all appears as it is. Like, something is going on there, and they're trying to put some shiny veneer over it by having some people talk about how great it is, and now, you know, it's fucking soul crushing. They're describing it like
But
shit.
I don't think they're saying that's like it always was. They're saying now that they're kind of having to tighten the belt, we're seeing what they really value, the guys who run that company. I don't think they
Right.
were. I don't think it was a lie that it was a great oasis of a company to work at. It doesn't sound like that is the case. But now listen, frankly, now I'm not a Destiny guy. I appreciate it's got a big fan base and all that. I know you really liked it, but listen, there are worse things that have happened than the wonderful creative producers that I always trumpet at Sony going in and having a little more control over a brilliant studio like Bungie. I mean, a lot of the people have left or gotten laid off that made Bungie what it is, but it's still a hell of a studio. And to have an executive, I would say Connie Booth, she's gone, but to have an executive like maybe Herman, but certainly Scott Rhodey or whatnot, really work with them to make some stuff that maybe is, I don't know, more Sony. I mean, Sony needs new IPs. They don't need another fucking games as a service game. I mean, finish Marathon and, make some single player shit or just do something interesting with these guys. I mean, I don't, would you really want just another games as a service from these guys anyway? I kind of am excited by the possibility that they might have to lose their control. Is that terrible? Does most people just disagree with that? I'd love Sony to have more control over that company.
I thought that too. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a bad thing. Like, maybe that's what they need, is somebody coming in and kind of taking the reins and saying like, this is stupid, like how you guys are doing it. Like, you guys do good work, but the way you do it can be streamlined. They can suggest all kinds of things, make all kinds of changes to make it easier,
Right.
to make better stuff.
But what about the content itself? Like Captain Crunch says that's what Marathon is supposed to be. I mean, look, I
Do you refrigerate this?
no, thanks, buddy. I think Marathon looks cool, but it's like, my God, at this point, do we need another fucking, shooter? I get it. Its oxygen is depleting, and that's how you die instead of a ring like in Fortnite or whatever. But it's just like, man, it's just so much of the same shit anyway that I would love to see these guys come in and work with them to make something really different, really interesting.
Yeah, weren't they also working on something for one of those Chinese investors or whatever? I forgot what they're called.
Communists?
No, like that big Chinese thing that buys like a bunch of devs up.
Oh, Tencent.
Yeah, I think they were making something for them
Could
too.
be,
But
could be. Yeah, I don't know. But the other thing is, yeah. Well, so the Hangry Dad says, wasn't the whole point of acquiring Bungie was for Sony to learn from them, not vice versa? Sure, but I mean, imagine being Naughty Dog today. Imagine being the guys who worked on Factions, who are now either have left, laid off, or have moved on to something else. And it's like, wait a minute, these motherfuckers are about to basically lose their freedom, and we were told by these guys we don't know what we're doing. Start that goddamn faction machine back up. That's my feeling. I don't know if that's actually what they're saying. Alvarez says, it tells me they like freedom, but they don't know how to handle it by themselves. I mean, that's anybody though. I mean, Destiny, let me ask you this. Destiny 1 was a big hit. Destiny 2 for a long time was a much loved title, correct? I mean, it's only recently that people have started to say it shit the bed, correct?
yeah, I mean, they started relying more on microtransactions to fund what they were doing, and they went to the season pass model, and it took them a few seasons to get it right. Like, you had to grind really hard to get to level 100 and get all the content out of it, and then they changed the grind, but it took a while for them to get it right.
Right.
And
Interesting.
and one thing that people didn't like too was when when they announced Destiny 2, Destiny 1 was in a really great place. Like everybody was pretty happy with how it was going with like the in-game economy and the difficulty and the activities and things like that. So it was in a really good spot. And then they're like, "Hey, we're doing Destiny 2 now, and you're gonna lose everything that you got in Destiny 1." So it's kind of a miracle
That's like becoming Abby in Last of Us Part 2. When I lost all my shit that Ellie had, I'm like, fuck this game. I've spent, so that's the multiplayer version of that bullshit. Listen to this. We got a guy in the chat. He likes to call himself Robert Eli, as if that's his real name.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
He says a couple things. He doesn't like it when you make assumptions, Bukaki. He says the thing we don't know is how bad or good was Factions. You're making assumptions. And then he says, if Factions was a masterpiece. He's asking me that. And then somebody else was saying Marathon could be amazing. It's like, okay, well, Marathon could be amazing, but it's still another one of those kind of games that we are oversaturated with. I don't know if Factions was a masterpiece. What I do know about Factions is it's from a studio that is consistently at least trying to do interesting things for certain people. It's not always for me as a fan, but those guys prioritize quality, whether it's depending on the game, gameplay, graphics, whatever, storytelling. That's, it may not have been the big hit they needed, but it would have been really interesting. And people are now saying this new mode, the Rogue mode, which is single player, I think, the Rogue in Last of Us 2 remastered, is actually quite deep and quite good. So I'm actually kind of starting to get more bummed as I see these guys' creator at Bungie, I don't know, that's being dramatic, that we're not going to see Factions, probably. Even in Destiny, says Robert, Bad Moment is in the top 10 of Steam almost every day, and top 10 right now. That may all be true, but if it's, and that's great, Robert, but the deal is clearly they're still worried about making their contractual amount of profit, and, that's a problem.
It's a free-to-play game, like.
Yeah. Oh, listen to this. Hangry Dad says this is the reason Bungie split with Activision, because Destiny was not making financial expectations. As much as people say Bobby Kotick is the devil, he saw the writing on the wall. Understanding says Naughty Dog needs something new. Sure. Ultra Awesome says love Days Gone, but I uninstalled after I was unable to actually save my game. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Sometimes, Bukaki, I'll just pick something in the chat and think I'll be able to riff on it. I don't know what the fuck to do with that one. Yeah. Ravno says the problem with Destiny 2 is bad monetization. Think about that. These are the guys that are going around allegedly to all these studios within Sony saying, here's how you monetize. Do you agree with Ravnos that the monetization in Destiny 2's shit the bed?
Yeah, I mean, all the monetization is just cosmetics, which I know people, it's like, well, that's good that it's not actually gameplay. I mean, there is, to do some of the dungeons, which is like, more end game content, you have to buy the season pass, but most of it is just cosmetic shit. And you really don't need to buy any of it. It won't really affect your enjoyment of the game unless you care about looking cool, which a lot of people do, but
I do. Right? Look at me. Look at me.
But there's a lot of cool shit you get just for playing the game too.
Right. Well, Tiago says they take shit away you paid for, which is becoming, that's ridiculous to me. Okay,
they do that too. Yeah, that's another shitty thing is they'll put shit in they call it the content vault.
Okay.
So basically what happens
we're gonna steep it in some lore. That way they won't really know what we're doing. It's kind of sleight of hand.
That's exactly what they did.
Jesus.
But they didn't just hide it though. They're like, look, the game's getting too fucking big, so we're gonna have to like put some of this shit away. And they did put like an in-game reason for that happening, which, whatever. But yeah, they don't really know what to do with all the shit that they've made for this game over the last like fucking 12 years or whatever. That's also another issue. It's just too big.
There is a adage from a great screenwriter in Hollywood that people still use. The guy's long dead. He wrote Princess Bride and Butch Cassidy and all that. William Goldman, who says, no one knows anything. And it's kind of starting to look like that in video games too. It's like you'd think Bungie would be able, but if what you're saying is true, that the monetization, and people in the chat are saying it as well. that, you know, maybe Jim Ryan didn't know his hole from an ass in the ground when it came to monetization of free-to-play games and was like, they're the Bungie guys. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, because even the free to play shit, everyone says it's hard to get into Destiny because like you just get into this game and you don't even know like where to fucking start because there's just so much shit.
I played a little bit of Destiny 1 and I liked it, but I didn't like having to do raids and bosses with people, and so I kind of dropped it. And when I came back in like a year later, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. So I dropped it again. Listen to this.
That's another thing.
This is true. Jayhawk says Sony must feel like a couple in marriage counseling that just finds out their therapist is getting a divorce. It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, well, sorry, Jim Ryan. He's like totally grateful at this point. He's like, oh, thank God I dodged that fucking bullet. All right, listen to this. I do want to say, you brought this up earlier. You were somebody brought it up. I think it was you, Bukaki. But we were talking about you just don't have the time to play a lot of games, or
right.
you're like, what? I'm so busy playing this, you know, and. Let me just run this by you, and let me just run this by the chat. Here's another theory. I was talking to a developer, reached out to me the other day about some stuff. It was interesting. And we were talking about, you know, and this is not news, that a lot of these games are made to be played indefinitely. Whether it is actually 10 years or not, that's always the wish. And I know that a lot of people are saying that the reason we're seeing so many layoffs is because it is a course correction from all of the investments with COVID, and people thought the gravy train would go forever. And I get that logic, and I'm sure that is not, if it's not the major, certainly one of the major reasons, or that we are seeing this correction. But the other one, I think, you know, has to be, and I don't know if you saw this, and I haven't even played this game. I was interested in it. It's this game called, I got to talk about that, Jump Light Odyssey, and they just kind of laid off a bunch of people at the developer today, and it's an early access, and they're just like, you know, and I'm not saying it's the world's best game, but because people are playing games so long that they already have now, that I think really is also part of the story. Like a game like this 10 years ago, it may have had 8 months, a year to kind of find its footing. But now, you know, people not showing up for something like Jump Light Odyssey, which is really fucking cool looking if you like games like this, is weird to me, because 10 years ago they would have showed up. Today it's not that they don't like it necessarily. I wanted to play this, but it's that, no, sorry, man. There's too many other fucking things. I'm playing Hearthstone. I'm playing, you know, Baldur's. I'm playing Alan Wake 2. And certainly Baldur's and not Hearthstone, Marvel Snap, those will keep you involved forever if they have their way. So
I mean, the new games are getting longer, and then the Call of Duties and Fortnites and shit with the Battle Pass. It's like, well, I paid $10 for this Battle Pass. I need to get everything out of it that I can.
Right.
So, you know, you can't dedicate time to other games either.
You're right. And people in the chat are like, well, I never heard of this game. It's yes, of course, there are lots of reasons it failed. And it's also not, you know, it's early access, so they're not going to market it. But it's not about that, because certainly, yes, they, you know, if it was an amazing game, people would be talking about it, blah, blah, blah. But my point is that there's even less room for anything other than the best of the best in every genre. And I know in one way that's cool, but at the other, it really is sad that we're losing so many titles because they're not worth playing, but because games have just found the fact that making shit tons of money comes with not having you leave the game that you're playing. And it's, you know, gamers run the medium. If that's what they like, that's what they like. For me, a kid who grew up in the 70s and 80s, I hate this shit. I don't hate the games, but I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Does everybody, I don't know, if I was making that kind of money that somebody like Marvel Snap was, or one of these service games that's working, I probably wouldn't ever want to pull the plug either. So I get it, but I hate it.
I think it's just, you know, a sign of the times. Like, not just games being more expensive, but just everything in general. So people are working more. Some people got 2 jobs. Like you got to have a side hustle going on just to like survive.
Yeah.
And then also, for your entertainment, they want you to invest fucking 60, 70 hours into one thing. Like it's tough to find the time or the money or both.
Yeah. I mean, thank God there's the indie space, but PM45 in the chat says really good indie games will always get attention once word gets around. I mean, there is some truth to that, but in a game like this, and maybe this could have been a really great game, but again, it's early access. And so their whole point was, it's not done yet, but we want to make it with the community and we want to be able to sort of support it. And no one showed up for it. Now, a lot of that's their fault. If it would have been amazing. What's that game out right now? Everybody's playing on PC, the Horror Among Us thing, but it's a weird fucking title.
Something company.
Yeah, one of those fucking things. That, instantly rises to the top. So certainly I get it. But it's just, I don't know. It's just disappointing to see how so much is changing because the money is pointing the people who invest in a different direction. But, it's called Lethal Company. That's the way it goes.
Lethal Company.
Think about that. Brett Moore in the chat is saying Shadow Gambit didn't get enough attention. It's amazing no one paid any attention. Yeah, it's a terrible title. But we were talking about this the other day. I'm like, what the fuck is Shadow Gambit? But Shadow Gambit is the game made by the guys, Team Me, that closed down. That was made by the guys who did Desperado 3. And they did a samurai version. Yeah, you're not wrong, Brett. This game is fucking excellent. This game is fucking great, and it's a real shame the company's closed down. Although, to be fair, they didn't close down because of money. My understanding is they closed down because they just were like, this making games, the quality of life is shit, and people need a break, and some people are sick, and fuck it, let's give up. Let's give up while we still like each other, and maybe we'll come back together later. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't listen to Jaffe, says Sector, and I slept on Chained Echoes on Game Pass. Now it's leaving in 10 days, and I'm rushing to finish it. Chained Echoes is the one about you and the droid, right? It's all the little droids and shit. Is that right? I think that's the game I loved. That was a wonderful 16-bit throwback, if I'm thinking correctly. And if you haven't played it, it's wonderful. No, Chained Echoes is not the game I'm thinking of. A lot of people love Chained Echoes. I'm thinking of something else. It's an RPG. It's like this. What the fuck was that game called? Made by 2 people. Who the fuck knows what that game was called? Anybody? Anybody at all? Not Chained Echoes. Who cares? We'll figure it out later. Listen to this. People in the chat are still saying that Blade is the game that is being teased for tomorrow night. That's crazy. Blade game made by Arcane is being announced tomorrow, says Eric. Crosscode. I think it was Crosscode. Let me check. And then we will move on. Crosscode. Nope.
Blade game where you play like Devil May Cry, that'd be kind of sick.
Which game?
If it was Blade, but it was like kind of like a Devil May Cry style.
But Arcane making a game like that? I mean,
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah. Am I going to play the new Avatar game? We'll talk about that in just 1 second, my friend. Let's talk about this rumor. Now, this is a rumor, like a rumor, like a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I got this from our Discord, and Discord got this off of maybe either Reset Era or Reddit. It's about Erd Tree, which I think is a terrible name. Apparently this guy from Singapore does outsourcing for Elden Ring's Shadow of Erd Tree, which is their expansion. It's not Sea of Stars. I'll figure it out. I'll tell you guys later. Here's what he says. He says they make environment assets, mini assets like 3D modeling, texture, etc. He says this is his rumor, or this is what he said he did. Shadow of Erd Tree is a combination of what was originally going to be 2 expansions, but From Software decided instead to just do one giant one. The entire game world is duplicated as a shadow realm, like a dark world from the old 2D Zelda game. It can be accessed in several warpable spots all over the world. The Shadowland is fractured and fragmented, and each zone is semi-cut off from each other and have large sprawling level designs. There's even shadow underground areas. In the Shadow Realm, Erd Tree looks different and the sky is blacker. The entire game has also major changes similar to Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the Fifth Sin, whereby the game enemies and items move locations dramatically, and new enemies are placed and new entities exist under new game conditions. Finally, he says, this is Elden Ring Part 2, and the amount of content added is about equal to the entire game of Bloodborne. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't, not really. I mean, it might be bullshit, but why do you think it sounds like bullshit?
Just that last part. This is Elden Ring Part 2. It's like, really? Like, I don't know, man. Like, there's like so many things. Like, this is just kind of like a general idea, you know, like there's not really any specifics or whatever. Oh, it's a shadow world because it's called Shadow of the Erd Tree. Like, okay, like anybody could really guess that, right?
Here's the reason I think it. I'm not saying it is real either. I don't know, but here's the reason that I at least give it a little credence, which is where he says the world can be accessed in several warpable spots all over sort of the main world from the main game. Just the fact that they're talking about how it's integrated. Versus just like, you know, because that's a detail that people who are not into video games or design or creation, you don't think about that a lot with DLC. You don't spend a lot of time talking about, well, okay, so I have Elden Ring or I have Bloodborne. How do I link up to the new DLC? And I'm not saying that alone makes it true. I'm just saying that that's kind of a design detail that certainly goes beyond some junior high kid going, I'm going to fuck with people on Reddit, you know?
Well, that's kind of a point of interest in Souls games because accessing the DLC, there's always like a specific way to do it.
That's
so
true.
Then mentioning
Bloodborne,
how to do it.
What was the way in Bloodborne? How did you get to the what did they call what was it called?
The Hunter's Nightmare.
Yeah. How did you get to that? Because I played it, I finished Bloodborne, and then somebody had to tell me how to access the DLC.
So earlier in the game, there was this giant creature that would pick you up. And if you didn't have enough insight, you didn't know what was picking you up. You were just floating up in the air and you would just kind of die. And once you got the DLC, one of those would pick you up and you would get transported to the Hunter's Nightmare. And that's how you would access the DLC.
I see. Okay. And how were you supposed to know that? Or was it another From Software thing like, fuck you? I mean, I wouldn't have known if I wasn't playing it on the stream and people told me.
I think I Googled it. I think that they mentioned something in the game about it, but I don't remember. It's been forever ago.
Look at all these people in the chat talking about this Blade game. Somebody says, from the looks of it, a Blade game is interesting for both Xbox and PlayStation fans. Is there footage of this fucking thing? Is this confirmed? I mean, we'll know this time tomorrow probably, but...
I think they're just talking about the rumor.
Josh in the chat says you picked up an item, and that allowed you to get lifted into the sky. I see. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Listen to this. I want to talk about Phil Spencer briefly. He was, wow, that zoomed in a lot. He was talking about the Activision deal and talking about old titles. I just want to read you this. This is from Games Radar because this is pretty exciting. This is pretty fucking exciting to me. He says when Banjo... he talked about Banjo in an interview, Banjo-Kazooie, and he says, and also Activision Blizzard games like Hex and Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk have been mentioned in other appearances by Phil Spencer. Spencer says he's not stirring things up for no reason. He says, I want our fans and customers to know that I don't just bring up games to tease, to no end. I'm not one to try and lead people on. It might not happen on the timeline these people would like, but usually when I tease, there's something there. So Banjo-Kazooie, Hex, and I don't care about Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk, I think you changed Tony Hawk too much other than just visual. It becomes not Tony Hawk, but whatever, that's interesting. But Hexen and Banjo sounds pretty exciting. This is what I love, though. This is what I keep saying about Game Pass. PM45 says, none of this is interesting. Well, go fuck yourself. And when you're done fucking yourself, fuck your dog. Because I'm going to tell you what's interesting, PM45. Listen to this. If you love the medium, you cannot deny this. Here's what he says. We have a service that is financially viable, meaning Game Pass, makes money. We've put a lot of money into the market, over $1 billion in a year, supporting third-party games coming to Game Pass. Here's why it matters, PM. What we see in Game Pass is a service that supports all kinds of games, from the biggest games to the unknown indie games that you didn't know you would love until you played it. The diversity of business models allows us to invest in different kinds of content and still have financial success within that content. He notes that's key when looking at back catalogs like Bethesda or Activision, i.e., we could make a Banjo-Kazooie that maybe isn't $200 million, but maybe it's $20 million, and maybe it doesn't look like a Naughty Dog game, but does that really fucking matter? The last thing he says is the diversity in game business models that we have at Microsoft Gaming lets us support different kinds of games, different sizes, and not every game we build has to be the kind of game that takes up all of your time. So, look, man, I don't know if Sony is going to be there with PS Plus. This is not an anti-Sony thing or anything, but given what we were just talking about these games that are really coming along and designed to suck up all your time and money and keep you from other games, it's nice that a guy at Phil Spencer's level is actually at least giving lip service to the idea that we don't want to just do that. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that needs to be the future before the fucking game industry explodes. Like,
Yeah.
it's too fucking expensive. Like, they need to come out with these smaller, cheaper games. So number one, they can keep affording to make them, and number two, it'll keep the price down for regular people to be able to play this shit.
I agree.
That don't want to invest fucking 40 hours into doing fetch quests in fucking zombie world or something.
Yep, 100%. And it actually, makes the medium special beyond just like, look, we can make money. It's just become so whorish. It's always been about the money, but there was a better balance when I was working in the industry and before I got into the industry where, yeah, people wanted to make money, but it wasn't so only about that. And now it just seems to be like that banker or whatever is in the room constantly when these decisions get made. And I don't know why anybody would want to go make games anymore. If you're not doing something interesting, because it just sounds like a miserable, it's the white collar version of working in the fucking coal mines. It's just like, it's terrible.
Well, I figure the goal is you come up enough to make a name for yourself, and then eventually people think you know what you're doing, and they give you a bunch of money to go do something.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think those days are over. People giving an individual a bunch of money, that gets harder and harder.
Maybe Hideo Kojima is like the last guy.
Yeah, or we'll see. I'd be very curious if Neil Druckmann was like, I'm leaving Sony, and I want to go start a company and raise funds. I wonder how much money he could actually raise at this point. PM45 says, don't buy into Phil Spencer's hype. I'm not buying into the hype. I'm saying if what he's saying is true, it sounds pretty good. Listen to this. You know the Supermassive guys? You like those guys? They made the Until Dawn and the Quarry, and then they did the on-rails PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 shooters. Remember, these guys?
Yeah, and I played Until Dawn.
Yeah, I like these guys. And when I think about it, again, Konami clearly, if you've played or you've watched, I don't know what you want to call the verb, if you've engaged with Silent Hill Ascension, Konami clearly doesn't really care enough. But they really should have gone after Supermassive to make Silent Hill 2, not fucking Bloober Team. But anyway, Supermassive announced today that they're doing a single-player game based on the Dead by Daylight franchise, which I think is pretty awesome. We'll see that tomorrow night at the Game Awards. I am very interested in that because I think they do horror well. I don't think they do it. They're not like the Second Coming. I don't think they make games that are disturbing enough for me. They're a little bit more vanilla, but I think they're really good at what they do.
They capture a certain vibe, like kind of like maybe 90s, early 2000s horror, like The Faculty, stuff like that.
Yeah. What was the one? I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Jennifer's Body. Yeah. Well, listen. So this game, Dead by Daylight's weird, right? Because so much of Dead by Daylight is other people's characters that they have working in the game. Do they have? I haven't played that much of it. Do they have their own kind of signature bad guy that they can tell a story around, or they don't really have that?
I think they have a few like original creations that you can play as. I'm sure the meat of it is like guys from other franchises, but they do have original characters.
Okay. Yeah, somebody in the chat is saying if Neil Druckmann leaves Sony, you'll know something bad is going on. And somebody else says, isn't that what Ken Levine did and Dan Houser did? They left to start a new company. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. And Dan Houser, I don't know if you saw, his new company, they announced what they're doing, which is, I mean, it's fine, but it's there's so many of these little shops in Hollywood that do what they're doing, which is like, we want to make, multimedia, and we want to make properties that can be TV or they can be this, and it's like, yeah, everybody wants that. But George Lucas didn't sit down to write Star Wars with that in mind, or whatever. Stan Lee didn't sit down to write Spider-Man with that in mind. He was already going with Fantastic Four with that in mind. It should be a natural thing that comes out of your success. But, they announced they're going to start with the graphic novel, and that's fine. I mean, it could work, but it just seems like, I don't know. It doesn't excite me as much as I wanted to be excited by those guys doing something new. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Jaffe says, Prince Green, there are spoilers going around about the Game Awards. Please don't spoil it. Everybody is speculating in the chat. I don't have a fucking idea what the thing is I could possibly spoil. I mean, we've heard everything from Blade to Baldur's Gate coming to Game Pass to, a whole host of shit. I don't fucking know what it was I would even spoil.
I think this Game Awards will decide if I sell my PS5 or not.
Somebody was wondering about first-party PlayStation. They're like, do you think tomorrow night we will see any reveals from PlayStation at the Game Awards? I mean, so if you don't, you're going to sell it?
I mean,
like, yeah, what do you mean by that? Like, what has to happen for you to pull that I'm going to sell this trigger?
They just got to put something out that I want to play.
Okay. So it's got to be an exclusive on PlayStation 5 that merits owning it.
Yeah.
Bad guy says, sell your PS5, brother. They're done. Stick a fork in them. Well, what have they announced?
Really, what I'm saying is, if they announce Bloodborne 2, I'll keep it. If not, then I'm done. So I'm probably going to sell it.
Yeah, RPG says to sell it too. I mean, well, think about that. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, we have Helldivers 2 coming, which could be a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not anti it, but it doesn't get me super duper excited.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that.
I do want to play that new mode now in Last of Us 2, and I do want to get remastered because it's only $10 for me, and I never finished it. But short of that, I mean, we have Wolverine coming. If Xbox, well, I don't know. The director did the best Spider-Man game ever in Miles Morales, I thought. I'm excited for it, but the word on the street is that Xbox is not getting a mid-gen refresh, but PlayStation 5, I don't know if Sony's announced it, but it's pretty much known they are doing a PS5. And if you want to get GTA,
well, the Slim's already out, no?
That's not the Pro though. That's not like a refresh in terms of better hardware. So if you want to play GTA at 60 frames and having a chance in hell of looking like it actually looked in that trailer from the other day, you're probably going to want to be, if you're on console, playing it on, well, you have to be on console at the moment, playing it on the PS5 Pro, right? So
yeah, but my CPU, my PC already is better than the console, so I don't really care about that.
Yeah, but you're not going to get it. They haven't announced it on console. If it's coming on console, it's not going to be when the game. If it's coming on PC, it's not going to be when the console game comes out.
Yeah, I can wait. I'm not pissing my pants to play fucking GTA6. It looks great.
So what else could they announce? An Onimusha 2? They could maybe do a trailer tomorrow, like a teaser, like when they first showed off Uncharted 4 or something, with like the Nathan Drake lying in a pit of mud or something.
Onimusha would be sick, actually.
Did I say Onimusha? I meant Ghost Tsushima. Sorry.
You did say Onimusha. Yeah, I have the first Ghost of Tsushima, and I've never played it.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's fucking wonderful. It's a great game.
Is that out on PC yet?
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, see, I can just play that.
Yeah, I wonder what else could they show. I mean, obviously things we don't know about. I mean, Corey's working on a game. I don't think they're going to show that. What other studios do they have that, Yeah, people are talking, like Josh Camp says Stellar Blade may be there. I mean, I'm not opposed to Stellar Blade. I think it looks kind of cool, but I think the people hanging their hopes on Stellar Blade is, it looks like a very niche, it's like a Bayonetta thing. I don't think it's going to be the next big, franchise. Oh, Eric says
Yeah.
maybe Ragnarok DLC. I mean, that's not for me, but I know a lot of people adore that fucking
Yeah,
game. So
don't give a fuck about that.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Get ready.
I mean,
get ready to sell that bitch.
ideally they'd show something new that would excite me, but
Right.
Bloodborne 2 would definitely do it.
Right. Well, I was going to talk about this Suicide Squad. It was this weekend. I got in, but I didn't get a chance to play it. So, people in the chat, I saw on I saw on the internet that it's kind of people are hot or cold on it, but then people in our chat said, no, I played it. It was actually pretty good. I think Addy Pie played it maybe, or Fupy, and I don't know why I get those guys mixed up sometimes. And Eric Lennon played it. So, we'll see. Brett Moore says, I played it. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say. Well, can you just say, was it good or not? Nobody, did you enjoy it? Here's a question. Okay, let me give you some questions. When it comes out, after you've played it, are you excited to play it again? That would be a question. Eric Lennon says it was very fun. It felt something like Sunset Overdrive. Addy Pie says it was a fun time, but very repetitive. Awesome Tatum says it's decent. There's a lot of jumping and shooting. Noobs and Pros says it was all right. It did enough to catch my interest. Brett Moore says I'll probably buy it. Okay, good. That's excellent. Well, then great. I'm looking forward to it. Bear wants to know, let me ask before I read Bear's question. Colin, Bukaki, you listen to Colin's podcast ever?
No, not really.
Okay, so you may not know this. Bear's asking, why does no one call out Colin for the continued negative spin on Xbox while talking up the flaws of PlayStation? Console sales, first-party output, the Portal performance, dude is delusional. Well, I can't speak for Colin, but I was on his show recently, and he was telling me his experience with the Portal was really good. I don't want one. And I think the thing you have to understand about Colin, or at least the way I think about Colin is a unashamed and self-admitted fanboy of PlayStation. So I don't think if you were to ask Colin, but you're not fair and balanced, he'd be like, I don't care. Right? I mean, he's like, yeah, I grew up with PlayStation, Nintendo first and PlayStation. I love this shit and I'm invested in it. And he's just, the nice thing about Colin when it comes to that is that he acknowledges what a lot of other people on the internet won't say out loud, which is, no, I'm a fanboy. And at least he owns it. Whereas a lot of people, when they get called out, are like, no, I'm not. It's just, let me tell you why you're wrong. So that's what I would say. That's what
I mean, isn't that the name of his like show, the Sacred Symbols or whatever? Isn't he talking about the PlayStation?
Podcast, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you listen just to get mad because you know what he's going to say.
And Tone says, hey, Bear, Colin has constantly been talking about Sony's lack of first party this year. So, all right. And he does call out Sony. That's fair. Okay, let's move on, though. I want to talk about Avatar. This comes out tomorrow. It's sitting at a 73. People say the first couple of hours of this game are really fun, and then it just kind of devolves into traditional Ubisoft trope, paint by numbers. Here's how we make open world games. Is anybody interested in this game? Or are you going to play this game? I was interested at first, and then I saw the reviews, and I'm like, nope. What I was originally going to do was subscribe to Ubisoft Plus for January, and get to play Avatar, Mirage, and Motorfest, which is fucking delightful. But now that Avatar's kind of like, I do hear Mirage is pretty good. Mirage will probably be $20 in the next week. In the Motorfest, I'm just going to outright buy because it's excellent. But Bukaki, let me ask you first: is Avatar something on your radar or not really?
I didn't even know about this game till like yesterday, and I took that as a bad sign.
Right.
But I saw some clips and it didn't look that bad. Like
no, yeah, it's not bad at all from what I hear.
Yeah, I'd get Ubisoft Plus and for a month and like play through it.
Okay,
it looked worth playing at least.
I mean, how do you do that? How do you play through? I mean, how do you finish fucking video games? There's so many of them and they take so long.
I don't pressure myself to finish them.
But you finish most games you play, right?
I used to, not really anymore.
Okay, so when you say Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, you're just saying that because you're hoping chicks are listening and they're going to be turned on by that. You don't really mean you'll finish it.
I mean, I'll play it, and as long as it keeps me entertained, I'll play it.
Oh, well, yeah. No, see, fuck you, Hangry Dad. Hangry Dad says you have to commit, Jaffe. It's not a fucking diet program. I'm not trying to get into the Olympics. I got to get up at 5 o'clock every morning to go ice skating or some such shit. Frank says you got to commit. I don't want to commit. I'm reading a book right now called Lattes and Legends. It's about a fucking, I don't know what she is. She's like an ogre or some sword and sorcery character who decides to stop being a badass killer and open up a little fucking coffee shop, right? Whatever. Point is, I can't put it down. The book isn't like, you need to commit if you want to finish it. It's like, no, bitch, that's the job of the writer. If
I'm
the
reading
game,
a collection of Tolstoy stories.
great. I mean, Tolstoy was basically like the soap operas of their day. I've never read Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, but people say that if you can get your head acclimated to the language of the time, that's a book you cannot fucking put down. I don't know if you're joking or not, but Tolstoy apparently is quite compelling.
No, I'm reading some. I wanted to get into some Russian literature, so I picked it up.
And how is it? Which one are you reading?
I don't remember the name. It's a story about a young dude who's like eager to go to war, and well, he shouldn't be.
Okay. Interesting, but yeah, I don't want to fucking commit to shit. It's entertainment. It needs to do its job to keep me interested. Okay. Sector says
What's the last game you finished?
probably Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah, probably same for me. Yeah.
Sector says I love that I got teleported to another world to open a cafe theme. I'm sure manga would with that name exist. They're not teleported to another world. This creature went to some dwarf environment on an adventure, and she's had coffee for the first time, and she's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And she was tired of killing people, so she says, "I'm going to go off, open a coffee shop," and says, nobody knows what the fuck coffee is, though. They're like, what is this? It's really good. It's very good. Oh my god. Denova says I'm still trying to get through Dune. Dune is I love that book. I love the book and the sequel and everything. Okay, let's keep going though, fellas. Let's keep going. What's happening next here? Oh, okay, look at this. Let's talk about this real quick. So first off, you may have seen this. This is somebody who went into Unreal, and this is not. Hang on. This is not a cartoon at the bottom. This is real-time Unreal 5 engine. An area of Ocarina of Time has been remade in the Unreal 5 engine to look like a Studio Ghibli film. And I don't know if you're seeing this on the screen. Isn't that insane?
That's fucking incredible.
I don't know if you can download this and play this on your own, or if this is just like, no, it's because apparently I want to say I know it's real time. I don't know if it's playable or it's just a movie in real time in Unreal 5. But there you go, right? What do you mean not impressed? How are you not impressed? Not impressed? My God. Look, this guy is the video. He's like the video game version of the character Eddie Murphy played in Boomerang, where he goes to bed with this woman. She's fucking gorgeous. She's fucking the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. And then they have sex and she's asleep, and he pulls the blankets up because he wants to look at her feet, and she has like a bunion on one of her toes, and he's like, I'm out. I'm fucking out. That's you as it relates, because I know you've never been with a woman, but that's you as it relates to this game. Good Lord, how are you not impressed? But anyway, this is the lead in. This is called the preamble. Because the director of the live action movie is this fella right here. He likes to go by the name, what's the dude's name? Wes Ball. Come on now. Wes Ball says, hey, I want to make the movie feel like a live action Miyazaki movie, right? And he goes on and on and on about, it's my life and all this bullshit. Whenever a director talks like that, you should run for the fucking hills usually. The only time I've ever heard a director talk about how much they love the property that they're directing and it really paid off was Sam Raimi talking about how much he loved Spider-Man when he was a little kid. But this reminds me of like McG when he was directing Terminator, and he's like, I know people think I'm just this fluff action director, but I'm going to make this just as good as Cameron, and the Terminator and Terminator 2 was my life. And it's like, dude, your movie was not good. So first off, let's be clear. This is the guy, if you go over, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. You are Nintendo. I get if you're doing the movie with Illumination for Mario, and there's not a lot of directors in animation that people cite and know all that well anyway. And you're not going to fail as long as it's good enough, which it was. Okay. But this is a live action fucking fantasy movie that's going to cost a lot more than that fucking movie. And the guy they got directing it is the guy right now, his highest rated movie is a 65, The Maze Runner, which I thought was fine, but forgettable. And his lowest rated is a 43% Maze Runner. Why in the fuck are people like, I mean, again, I'm not saying Wes Ball doesn't deserve a chance to direct shit, but why would you throw Zelda to this guy? Like, what do you think that's about, Bukkake Drive-By? Why would you give him this? What do you think? Do you think no other director wanted it? Which is hard to believe.
I assume, Nintendo gets kind of meticulous with this stuff. I assume they sat down with him and they liked what he had to say. I don't know if he was saying the same shit to them that he's saying to the public. If so, then I'm slightly worried, but I assume, he laid out his vision and idea, and they were like, you know what, this is in line with what we want. Maybe they were just like, you're going to do what the fuck we tell you. And he was like, yes.
Maybe that, because people in that world in games still have a little bit of this Hollywood envy. And I hope somebody at Nintendo, and they're like, bitch, our last movie made $1 billion. Sit the fuck down, fat ass Jaffe. I understand. But it was a goddamn cartoon for little children. And it was beautiful, but it wasn't a good movie. But it was fine. But this is a different kettle of fish they're dealing with. And I hope they have somebody on their staff that is reviewing this shit, and it's not just that they're good at storytelling, but so much about being a good executive in any field when it comes to creative executive is being able to go, there's a difference between passion and being able to actually execute. And it's so easy to sell people who don't know that difference that it's the same thing. And I look at this guy and I'm like, if somebody came into me and said, hey, Wes Ball's going to direct your movie, I'd be like, no, he's really not. I assure you, at least not yet. And I fucked it up too. When Brett Ratner was attached to direct God of War, I should have thrown a goddamn fit. But I was just like, all right, whatever.
Who would have been your first choice?
Well, I mean, I think Ridley Scott would have been really great. I think Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Verhoeven would have been the best to do it. But, certainly never Brett Ratner, like ever. And that was before I knew about all of his sexual, abuse allegations and whatnot. Are you guys asking about the beard? Are people saying the beard is glitchy? Is that what you're talking about in the chat?
Yeah.
Let me explain. Where is it? What's happening is I have, if you can see the Day One Patch Kids, that's a blue screen. And I don't have the set lit yet. And in that, some of the, like if you see over on the Sweet Tooth action figure, we're getting some weird anomalies. Because my beard is white, you're probably seeing it there from time to time.
You're getting keyed out.
Yeah, but that'll be fixed. I just don't have it lit properly yet. Mel Gibson says Mutant Mo should have directed the God of War movie. I mean, look, Mel Gibson is pretty fucking good director. I think he's, racist, but that's okay. I mean,
that's okay.
I don't support racism, and I don't necessarily like individual humans that are racist, but the best thing why is this up here? What is that? I don't know what that is. The best thing I ever heard about this, it was a story that some celebrity, I don't remember who it was talking about. He went to a doctor, and the doctor said something like, oh, you have cancer or whatever. And he had been this guy's doctor forever, and it was great. But in the last year, he had been going to him. The guy had clearly made it clear the doctor was like a big Trump fan, and all of his agenda and ideas he supported. So the actor was like, fuck you, I'm out of here. He went to another diagnosis, and that guy wasn't a good doctor, but he was not a Trump fan. And he went with that guy, and he ended up actually getting cancer and having it longer, and he could have done a lot better, curing of it faster if he would have caught it sooner. And he says that was the moment that I learned that, just because somebody has different beliefs than you, it doesn't mean that they are 100% broken in every category. So look, Mel Gibson can be a racist all he wants, but as long as he doesn't hurt anybody or do anything with that, and, doesn't mean I wouldn't hire him as a director. There's a lot of fucking racist people.
It's racism and your misogyny would create the movie of the year.
Well, hey, come back now.
I can't help but be racist. It's true.
Listen to this though. We're gonna get back to games, I promise. But Hangry Dad in the chat says, Mel Gibson and Daddy's Home 2, awesome Christmas movie. You are not wrong. That is one of my favorite fucking Christmas movies. It is excellent. And what's funny about it is I think it's sitting at like a 20 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I never even saw the first fucking Daddy's Home, but for some reason I watched the second one, and it was good. It was good people. I enjoyed it. All right, let's move on. Okay.
EM45 said, "Can you show that unimpressive Legend of Zelda video again?"
You can go fuck yourself. Here you go. No, but I can give you this, bitch.
Go suck a big fucking dick.
You goddamn right. Hey, Kill Deal Gaming. Absolutely good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. Yes, we're still talking about game. Alex, you know what? Alex S. Fuck you. He says, Jeffy, are we still talking about gaming? Yes. Give me a minute to just preamble a little bit. My God. Trust me, you'll see some shit at the end of this stream that you'll be like, what the fuck is he showing me? That ain't games. But I'm putting that at the end. What we're going to talk about right now, we're going to get into Grand Theft Auto 6 for a little bit, okay? But we get there by way of something Bukaki might know about, certainly more than I, which is music and classic rock. I bring this up because right as I was coming to stream, my son was in his room playing, I think it was like Fleetwood Mac or somebody from the 70s. Somebody from the 70s. I forget who it was, but, classic rock shit. And then I see the story that, the Tom Petty song that they used in GTA6, Love is a Long Road, has just like shot up on iTunes and streaming and Spotify. Like well over 1,000% growth. Just here you go, 36,979% increase for this song, right? And it occurred to me, what I thought was really interesting about this is like movies do this. Like you can tell your kids. I know movie aficionados that tell their kids it's like you have to watch this movie from 1950, and they watch it and they're like, "Whoa, that blew me away." Or you have to listen to this song from the 70s. And oh my God, I'm a huge fan now of Led Zeppelin. Fucking Bukaki's reading Tolstoy, who's been dead longer than he was alive. It hit me that for the most part, other than for nostalgia, it's weird that video games haven't done that, right? I mean, there's a lot of YouTube videos about, young kids try out Grand Theft Auto 3, and it's so funny about how much they hate it. And what is this? This controls like shit, and this is dumb. And it just, I don't know, does that ever strike you as weird, Bukaki, that the video game art form doesn't seem to travel like all the other art forms? And more importantly, does that say something about either how good video games actually are, or how much they lean on technology and not the art form, or how much of it is bullshit that we talk about games being equatable to other art forms, but the vast majority of them are not? What do you think the reason is, or do you not agree with me?
Or you mean like younger kids playing old games doesn't like translate, right? Because
well, I mean
I'm sure
when my kids listening to Fleetwood Mac, or a lot of kids today who've never listened to Full Moon Fever or any Tom Petty album, or streaming Love is a Long Road, we don't really see that in video games all that often.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, you mentioned those kids playing older games and being like, "Oh man, this controls like shit" or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you just talking about kids, or do you mean everybody? Because I know everybody goes back to playing old games. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, I think everybody, because even if you say, if you wipe away the nostalgia, like you can show me a movie from the 60s I've never seen, so I have no nostalgia for it, and I'll still be like, holy shit, that was really good. But it's very rare to play a game I haven't played. Like, oh, this was a Commodore 64 game. Oh, I never played that. It's like, okay, I get it. It's kind of funny. I'll play it for 5 minutes and never think about it again. I don't know many people who are different regardless of their age. Do you?
Well, I think it's different because music, like, there wasn't like a time where we didn't know the best way to do music. Like, it's always kind of just been something that you either like or you don't like. With video games, there is like, it's obviously there's a lot of subjectivity in video games, but there's also a lot of like, everyone can agree that, you know, a certain feature in a video game sucks, or the controls in a video game sucks. Like, that's a universal thing.
Yeah, but everybody can listen to an album and say it's a fucking great album, but except that fucking song. I mean, isn't it the same with music? Or I love the album or the song, but the bridge is terrible.
Well, that's not true, because there's people that will tell you they love that song or that bridge.
Well, and there are people that will tell you that they love that Commodore 64 game.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like,
the bigger question is, are you saying that I'm wrong, that the theory is wrong, that no, there are people that still have that same level of, you know, I want to play this as much as any other thing, even though it's 30 years old?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I think you're wrong.
Interesting. Brett Moore says video games are a way more recent art form. No, they're not. No, they're not. That, you know, music, sure. But games have been around since before ancient India, with Parcheesi as the first game. Video games, frankly, have been around for, what is it now, 50 years? Think about movies. By the time movies had been around for 50 years, you had already had The Wizard of Oz. You already had It's a Wonderful Life. You already had, what the goddamn thing is, the Citizen Kane motion picture show. You know, it was 1950, basically.
Yeah.
So they've been around just as long.
I guess, like, it's hard for me to put into words, but like, when you listen to music, there's only one way to listen to it, right? Like, it just goes in your ears and you hear it.
Okay.
When you watch a movie, you're watching it, the sound also comes into play. There's pretty much one way to experience those things. With video games, there's like many different experiences you can have with a video game. Like, if you're playing a first-person shooter, if you're playing fucking Sudoku on your fucking phone, if you're playing Mario, like, those are all different experiences, right?
Okay, so let's say you're a passionate fan of first-person shooters, and you're really good at them. Other than nostalgia, do you really want to fire up Doom from the first Doom? Again, other than nostalgia, and actually play it and go, holy shit, that's as fun as playing the latest first-person shooter, you know, whatever you're into, Call of Duty or what have you.
Well, maybe yeah, because you know, they call them boomer shooters, right? They're still putting out new games that play just like Doom today.
Yeah, but you're right. That's a good point. I'm wondering though, I mean, it doesn't play just like Doom. It scratches the Doom feeling, but there's, you know, quality of life improvements. There's expectations about things that you could do in games today that you couldn't do back then. But you're right. There is an aspect to it that seems evergreen. That's true. Frank Blasey, thank you for 35 months of membership. I appreciate it very, very much, buddy. Here you go. This goes out to you.
We're just normal men,
Goddamn
just
right.
innocent men.
He says a classic film will always be good because the story is the main focus. With games, it's gameplay and control, which are more prone to age poorly. But doesn't that tell you something then? If gameplay and control ages poorly, and that's the heart and soul, it doesn't mean video games aren't great. It doesn't mean they're not fun, but maybe it is saying something about video games. Or maybe the old video games. I don't know if you saw this, but like Digital Eclipse put out some new games for the Atari 50th anniversary game generation. That's all of the Atari games. And, you know, I can't play those for more than 15 minutes because it's like, okay, this is a fun nostalgia trip, but it's, you know, whatever. But maybe as games have gotten, you know, more developed, I do find that I can play those and still be engaged. Like I played the Turok remaster, which pretty much was the N64 version. It just ran better with higher res textures, and it was a great deal of fucking fun. You know, so maybe we will see that, but maybe here's maybe what it is this is maybe the first 20 years of games is like silent movies. So no one's going to go back and really watch a silent film and go, holy shit, man, I fucking loved that. It was so interesting. But you can go back and appreciate it for what it did. But now that we're getting into the we're past the third decade, but when you start playing mid-90s games or 2000s games, maybe those will actually hold up, you know? What do you think about that I just said to you, Bukaki? Does it make me wise?
mean, I still go back, you know, sometimes I still feel like playing fucking Super Mario World. Like, I don't know if it's because of nostalgia, but I do just enjoy playing that game. Like, I can just turn it on, pick up the controller, and just make my way through some levels, and I'm happy. But like you said, like, I don't know if it's the nostalgia or not. It's impossible for me to take the nostalgia out of the equation. You know what I mean?
It is. It is.
I wouldn't be able to tell you, like, I can objectively be like, no, you know, if I never played it before, I would still want to play it today. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that, you know, something in me is like, you need to go back to when you were fucking 5 or 6 years old and play this fucking video game to get some relief from your brain or something. I don't know. But
well,
I don't know. Maybe those games are just evergreen.
They could be, but you also could be not wise because Puckish Rogue 100 just dropped a super chat. He wants you to know, dude, there are always more than one way to hear music. So even though you're in a band, you're just wrong, Bukaki. I honestly, thank you, Puckish Rogue. I appreciate it. I have no idea.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know what he means. I have no idea what he means.
Like, you don't just hear music? Can you put a fucking speaker up your asshole? Like,
well, I'm sure he could. And I'm not saying, by the way, Rogue, that you're wrong. I don't know how to follow that up because
I am saying he's wrong. You listen to music with your ears. Can you listen from a speaker or headphones or coming out of your fucking TV? Yes, there's different ways to get the sound, but there's only one way to get the input into your brain.
Yang Lee says you can eat the music. So, you know, eat that fucking music. Well, okay, let's talk about Grand Theft Auto. Why is there a picture of a horse? Here's what's going on. I'm conflicted. I'm not conflicted, but I'm bothered by my response to Grand Theft Auto, right? Because it doesn't. And I was thinking about this last night. I'm like, I don't want to be contrarian. I'm not trying to like just stir up trouble. A lot of people accuse me of that. I'm conflicted because on one hand, you know, I saw the trailer with everybody else and I was like, hey, that looks really cool. And I'm excited to play it. I like the fantasy. You know, it looks like a neat world to live in, blah, blah, blah. But I see so much just unbridled joy and adulation over this. And I go, but the trailer, you know, was like people are writing about it and talking about it like it was like, oh my fucking God. And on one hand, I get it. You're excited because the game's coming out. But I guess the way my mind works is I don't really care about hype. I care about the game. And I'm like going, the trailer was fine. And it definitely looks like a really fun next-gen Grand Theft Auto. But I did not watch it and go, this is the most amazing thing ever. But a lot of people did. And I'm just trying to figure out, you know, like I want to give you a few examples and I want to see what the chat says and what you guys say. But like GTA6, according to Kotaku, is full of hilarious little details, right? That's an article that they just wrote. And yeah, and I look at it and they're like, look, it's like, you know, this drug cures emotions. And look, they did the Florida thing and they did the Florida man thing and they did the alligator in the pool thing. And I'm like, yeah, they did. And that's cool. But it's like, this is not hilarious. This is not, it almost seems like Grand Theft Auto always gets this kind of pass that it's really funny satire when it's just okay satire, right? It's not like South Park. It's not like laugh out loud. It's like, oh, someone's making a joke on Big Pharma, you know? Or look at this tweet. This might have been IGN. That was Kotaku. This is IGN. It's no surprise that all anyone can talk about today is the first trailer for GTA 6. I get that. But more so is the praise for the unquestionable star of the trailer, Lucia. why? She's fine. She didn't do anything. She says, I guess she was in jail, and then she's robbing banks with her or places with her boyfriend, and she's fucking her boyfriend. All those things are great. But like this adulation, do you think this is just kind of, bullshit, or do you think I'm just being a cynical asshole?
I don't know. Like, I was on IGN earlier, and there was an article that was like 99 things you miss in the new GTA trailer.
Well, I get that. I get that though, right? They're not saying it's brilliant or not brilliant. They're just saying, hey, you're into this. We're all into this. Look at some stuff you may have missed. I can get that.
Well, sometimes the shit is like nebulous too. It's like, oh, here's this picture of this thing. It actually is a reference to this other thing, and it's like, it's kind of a reach, pal. Like, I personally think it's bullshit. Like, everyone was waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. There was an announcement imminent. Everybody was excited. The fucking trailer comes out.
Yeah.
Everybody's fucking talking about it. Great, but it didn't blow my fucking socks off. I just saw it and I was like, okay, it looks like fucking Grand Theft Auto. Cool.
Yeah, and I'm totally, for some weird reason, I went down a rabbit hole of watching Beverly Hills Cops clips on YouTube last night. And I started watching a little bit of the shots in the second movie, which is when they had all these jewelry store thieves and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was solely excited. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto. I want to go out and just be this badass again and all that shit. So I'm not excited, but yeah, I'm with you. I mean, the other thing is, people were coming at me. It was so funny on the show we did a couple days ago about Grand Theft Auto when they dropped the trailer. I was like, I don't know how much of this is real time or whatever. And everyone's like, Rockstar never does trailers that are not in engine. You should know that. And I'm like, no, I really shouldn't. I didn't know that. And again, this may be an engine. It's still a fucking cutscene. But that said, though, fine, great. It's an engine. And I actually spoke to some developers at some Sony studios today, and they were like, this looks amazing, and this is probably real time. I struggle to believe that, but these are actual working developers today working on some of the best looking games ever. So I do believe them, but I'm like, wow. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think one of the devs came out and said that was in real time.
Yeah, that's right. And that's not an insult. That's a testament to the quality. If this is real time, fucking awesome. But again, there is also a difference between a real time cutscene and real time playability, because it doesn't mean the engine can't push all those polys and whatnot. But are you saying you're going to let me run in this beach with all these people and vehicles and jet skis, and it's going to look this good, and there's like a footprints in the sand? I mean, again, I hope the answer is yes. I'm not pushing back on the graphics. I want that to be true, and I'm glad I'm hearing that might very well be true. But great. But I mean, again, let me go to the chat. Let's see what these guys are thinking. I don't know if you've caught any of the chat, Bukaki, but I look at this and I find it disingenuous is the wrong word, because it sounds like just because you don't agree with me, you're wrong and I'm right. But let's just put it this way. I struggle to understand, why most people aren't responding the way I am to this, which is it looks really fun. It looks really good. Most of us love Grand Theft Auto, and great. But the fact that people are like, it is so hilarious, and the main character is awesome. I'm like, based on what?
I mean, a lot of these people are the same ones complaining about any other media is just pointing at other things and being, look at that, remember that? And they're eating this shit up.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Well, it's like people complaining about all the new Star Wars movies and shit. They're like, all they're doing in the new Star Wars is saying, hey, remember that stuff that happened in that other movie? Remember that?
Right. Yeah.
And like, that's exactly what's happening with this fucking trailer. They're just, referencing shit that happened in real life. And, they're going back to Vice City. That's all this is too. And they're all just like, this is fucking amazing.
Right. I see that. Who in the chat? Darth Nugget says, who is saying that, Jaffe? It's right here. I'm showing you on the screen. Look. GTA6 trailer is full of hilarious little details. It's no surprise that all anyone can talk about is all the praise for the unquestionable star of the trailer, Lucia. What I recommend, sir, is you need to, and it's good for your health too, by the way, is when you're eating your mother out, you want to come up for air anyway. It also helps with the kind of, edging her a little bit. And then that will allow you to also listen to what I am saying. instead of you
Matt-
coming, you know.
Matt DeMarco says a lot of this stuff wasn't in previous GTAs. What are you
What?
talking about? A trailer?
Bad Robo, I am so not the stop having fun guy. I'm not that. That's why I was almost hesitant to bring it up, because I am excited for this game. The game looks cool. I will be playing it absolutely day one.
It's been 10 years. Can we let people enjoy things? Well, what if I
Yes.
enjoy shitting on everybody's parade and being a hater?
I'm not saying don't enjoy it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying as a fucking adult, can't we just, here's where I come at it from a lover of the medium before anything else. Okay? And because of that, I'm sorry. And I also worked in the industry for a while, and I understand, how manipulative and how easy the customer is to play like a fucking fiddle. Okay? And so I don't know. To me, I think there's value in acknowledging and pushing back on, wait a minute. It's kind of like when people bitch about people giving scores at IGN 10 out of 10 or whatever. It's like if you want this kind of adulation and love and insanity, then you got to earn it. You got to make them fucking earn it. When GTA 3 first came out, no one had seen anything like it. Thematically, culturally, mechanically for the most part. And I understood it then. I understood why people who were not even gamers were talking about it, like when I was riding around in LA and the DJs were talking about it on the fucking radio. You're like, what the fuck? Why are they talking about video games? But to actually, don't you want that to be earned?
This is what's funny to me, right? Matt DeMarco, can't you just let people enjoy things? And then he says, yeah, gobbles up every spoon of shit Marvel puts out. It's like, what you really mean is, can you not say bad things about things I like?
I don't gobble up any. I want to see this. I want to play this. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, explain to me why it's more than, oh, cool, it's really neat, more of the same. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be good. Like, I have no doubt that it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I will probably play this, but like I said, it didn't knock my socks off. I don't think it's fucking the next step in fucking evolution. It's just a cool game. Great.
Prince Green says, well, that's why they earned it. They earned it back in 2006 or whenever, 4 or 3, whenever it was. I'm talking about this trailer, though, Prince Green. I think he's trolling, but Brian says, can you stop crying? I will try. I'm not, oh my God, Addy. Oh, fuck you, Addy Pie. You're a troll. He says, picking on people for liking something. I'm not. All right. Brian says 100 million views say otherwise. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. 100 million views doesn't mean they like it. It means they were interested in it. It's like the second week of box office. By the way, I like the trailer. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying that, there's a point where a movie might open big and then it drops off the second weekend because it's front loaded and people are excited for it. That's why it's at 100 million, because it was a pent up demand.
Brett Moore said, I read somewhere that Rockstar wanted to take their time and make a game with systems never seen before. Not sure what it is, but I hope it's true.
Me too.
What are they supposed to say? Like,
well,
it's the same shit. Don't even bother.
But no, I mean, I hope he's right. I would love to see some really cool new systems. And even if it's nothing but more of the same, then cool, I'll still play it. Ravno says, did you like it or did you almost like it? I liked it. I liked it a lot. It looked like a lot of fun. I just kind of cringe, to be fair, whenever people are coming all over it. And I'm like, okay, but why? It's not hilarious. It's not that clever to, not pick on like I'm offended by it, but like, oh, let's pick on Florida. Well, yeah. God damn, is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to move on because I got to show you guys something batshit. Kaiju Whisperer says, it'll be good. Very, very good. You'll see. I'm not saying it won't. I didn't say it won't. Why is this hard?
Go suck a big
All they hear is
dick.
you shitting on it. Also, you're muted now.
No, I'm not.
Okay, not anymore. Here you go.
Come on now.
Oh, I'm stupid. I'm a little high, and I was looking at the YouTube video, and you were talking, and I was like, why can't I hear anything?
Everybody hates you, and I'm glad your husband died. He probably killed himself.
It's true. It's true. All right, let's move on, you fuckers. I want to tell you, though, before we get to some stuff that I think is really, really cool, I do want to give a quick shout out to our Cult Calypso members. These motherfuckers keep the show going. They are very generous with their ducats, and I sure appreciate it, fellas and Filettis. Jezebeli is our newest. Then we got Connor J, Connor Steinbeck, Film Gamer X, For the Love of Gaming, Golf Franchise. Melina Khan has been with us for 37 months. Thank you, Melina Khan.
Wow.
Lutron, Brian Dooley, Rocker Matt, Darth Nugget, Master Luke, who does a lot of our art, which is gorgeous for the show.
Incredible.
Goddamn. Thank you, Bugagi. Boogster 1919 is here at the Cult Calypso. Thank you, buddy. And we also have joining them Yorch, 26 months. Muggin Dude, 37
Holy
months.
shit.
JW JW Conglomerate, Paria Faghihi, Joe Laskowitz, Brett Moore.
Maria, what?
Joe Laskowitz. Oh, Paria Faghihi. I know. That's their name. 34 months. Brett Moore, Jarvie
Fantastic.
Rocks, Cantankerous Games, Craig Hooligan, Hungry Adventures, and Master Dragon 2048. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Very, very kind, very, very courteous. I want to talk to you now about something that, in fact, I'm gonna have a little moment of Bukaki. Will you entertain the chat for like 3 minutes? I just need to kind of clear my head. I will be right back,
Yeah, sure.
and then I will tell you. I want to tell you guys. There's some crazy fucking bullshit we're going to talk about. It's nuts. But I'll be back in 3 minminutes. Bukaki's
I can't
the mic.
wait.
Thank you. It's not a shit break, Cody. I just need to, clear my head. I'll be back. Okay? Because it doesn't matter. Shut up. Okay, here we go. Here's Bukaki. What do you mean, fuck you. I hate Addy Pie. I hate him. Because I know he's always trolling, but I can never, he's such a good troll that I always take the bait before I go, oh, no, it's Addy Pie. I have to get better at that. All right, I'll be back in 3.
Go take a dump. Hurry up. Okay. Grand Theft Auto 6.
Okay, yes,
is
I'm
gonna
done with the
suck.
show for now. I'm taking a break. But yes, I hate Grand Theft Auto. Oh, I hate it. I want it to die.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna suck. If you like it, you suck. If you enjoyed the trailer, you suck. It's gonna be the worst thing to ever come out, ever. Anyone who enjoys it is low T. What am I playing? Super Mario RPG. How many live shows have you played? More than one, less than 50? More like Grand Theft Auto sick, as in making me throw. What do I think of P Turtle? I think that the high pitch of his voice makes me think he's very low T. Probably doesn't work out. Probably eats a lot of soy. Mario, typical. Yeah, it is typical for somebody who plays games to play Mario. You're no musician. That makes me more of a musician. Most musicians are failures at their craft. I eat a lot of soy. Well, good for you. Would you beat P Turtle in an MMA fight? Probably I would, yes. There'd just be 2 hits, me hitting him and him hitting the ground. Soy gives you low T? Yes, actually, there's been studies. Who is my favorite character in Mario RPG? Probably Bowser.
I'm sorry.
P Turd would be DOA. That's right.
You know what they're doing now?
If P Turtle ever comes up to me in real life, I got Pete and repeat waiting for him.
Well, you know they're making the Hershey's Kisses now with this is hot chocolate Hershey's Kiss, and oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Hot chocolate Hershey's Kiss.
In the flavor. You know?
They have hot chocolate and marshmallow donuts as well.
I'm on that Ozempic right now though, so I'm telling you, I get full so quick. It's insane.
Ozempic? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I remember you did talk about that, yeah.
It's nuts. It's absolutely
You said
nuts.
you were eating meat now because of it or something?
Yes, I need more protein, and I'm not eating it because I like it, but it is kind of like I'll be craving protein, and so I ordered a hot dog the other day, for example.
So you crave could you just drink like a protein shake?
That's what I usually do.
Okay.
I was out because I drink them all the time now, and it is the weirdest thing. Like I ordered a small pizza the other day, 4 slices, and I ate 2, and I put the rest in the fridge, and I didn't eat them till the next day. I've never done that. I usually just sit and eat the whole goddamn thing. It's a weird fucking drug, man. It changes how you think about food. It's not a...
You just gobbled that glizzy, huh?
The what?
I said you just gobbled that glizzy, huh?
What's a glizzy?
It's a hot dog.
Oh, I don't know. I have to eat it fast and not think about it though, because it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah. Todd says in the chat, the irony is Jaffe went to go eat his mom out. She's dead. And I've thought about this. We're gonna get back to games, I promise. But I've thought about the level of decomposition my parents are at. You know, my dad died over like 10 years ago now, so I have to assume it's pure skeleton. My mom died about 5 years ago or 6 years ago, 4 to 6 years ago. I don't know if you're pure. I looked it up and I couldn't find any answers, but
honestly, like I dread the day that my parents die. Like I can't tell you how much I love my parents. Like I will never laugh ever again after that day.
Oh, you're an idiot. Yes, you will.
Because the joy in my life will be gone.
Oh, shut up. You're such an idiot. You're such an idiot. They fucking left
Just kidding.
you.
They can die today.
They left you at the fucking stoop of a of a fire station. You haven't seen them since.
I crawled out of a hole in the ground.
All right. Here we go. Listen, I want to tell you something. This is interesting to me, and I think it'll be interesting to you. Let me get a sip of the bubbly first. You had RPG going. He's like, really? That's really sweet.
I'm not kidding, RPG. Like, it will destroy me. But I had to throw that in at the end.
No. Would you like
A
to know...
glizzy is a hot dog, okay? And no one believes me when I say glizzy's hot dog. Sorry for interrupting you.
God damn it, Maverick. Would you like to know the weirdest places that people have played video games? Bukaki, would you like to know that?
I'm actually dying to know that.
I understand. Well, here we go. And let me tell you something. We're going to start with relatively normal. By the time we get to the end of this list, I'm going to show you some shit you ain't never fucking thought of, okay? Where people are playing these goddamn fucking video games, okay?
Well, you don't know that.
Well, we'll find out. The first one, we've seen these before, but it's still worth looking at. Playing video games on the sides of buildings. There was just here's somebody playing Street Fighter. This was in the pandemic, and they had a projector, and they basically played Street Fighter.
The members list.
Oh shit! Hang on.
Man, what would you do without me, dude?
I don't know. I would, not show the right thing. Hang on. Oh, I know why. It's my bad. Really, Jeffy? What? Do you think it was somebody else's bad? It is my fault. Hang on.
EM45 said, Jeffy doing a Ripley's Believe It or Not segment, SMH.
You don't like Ripley's Believe It or Not? What the fuck's wrong with you? Ripley's
Man, I miss Dean Cain, dude. What happened to that guy?
Yeah. Ripley's is shit, man.
It's still the members list, by the way.
I know.
That's his hit list.
You goddamn right. It's like in Billy Madison. Okay. All right, here we go. Look, check it out. This is a guy in quarantine. He's playing Street Fighter 2 on the side of a building, projecting it on the side of a building. That's pretty cool. I mean, we've seen stuff like that before, but the idea that you can play a video game on a screen that big, I'm a fan. I don't know what it's like to be living in the apartment necessarily, but I think it's pretty fucking cool. But that's not all. That's not all. I have more for you, fellas. I got to show you some of this other stuff. God damn it. YouTube can go fuck itself. This was the world record holder. This is in Vegas. These guys are playing Free Fire, which I think is like a free-to-play shooter or something. But they're playing this on the side of the Tropicana Hotel. And that's kind of cool. Although I have to assume sooner than later someone's going to do this on the Dome in Vegas. Bukaki, you live in Vegas. Have you seen the Dome or the Sphere, whatever the fuck it's called?
I don't live in Vegas.
I thought you were in Vegas.
And it's like 6 hours away from Vegas.
Where the fuck do you live?
In Nevada.
It's the same thing.
I live by Reno.
Whatever. The point is, look at this. Okay, let's move on. That's Casual Noob Gamer says, have you discussed Sony pulling digital licenses? We did the other day, but I'll bring that up. But pushes buying movies on Sony Pictures app. Digital future sucks. We can talk about that. Bukaki, if you remember, remind me to bring that up after this segment for sure. Thank you for that super chat, buddy.
Didn't you talk about that in the last show?
Yeah, but, not everybody saw it, and I have some new thoughts. But anyway, okay, so we got this one.
Okay.
We also, now this one, I think, this was last week, and this just broke the world record for the biggest, no, that's not this one. It was Pac-Man, but this is in Shanghai. This was in Shanghai, and it's Pac-Man on a lot of buildings. They're playing on the side of a church, and they're playing competitive Pac-Man. I think this is fucking cool. I would play the fuck out of this game at least for 10 minutes. I think it's
They're
really,
making
really
a mockery of the Lord's house. I don't like it.
The Lord would probably want to play Pac-Man too. I think if God's a real thing, God probably loves Pac-Man. Come on now. And then this is the world record from last week. Okay. This was in Vegas as well. This is the largest video game display ever. People playing Pac-Man on the side of the Hilton. And that's pretty fucking cool. Apparently the person playing sucks at Pac-Man, as you can see. Oh, he had a blue dot, but that's pretty fucking cool. But like I said,
why don't they play real games with good graphics instead of fucking Pac-Man?
well, what are they going to fucking play? They're going to play...
they should play The Last of Us 2 remastered.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sony could do that. Sony does have ad space on the Sphere at one point with Spider-Man. So Sony could go off and do that, absolutely. But I think it's really expensive after 30 seconds. So if you want to book it for the whole night, you're talking, crazy money. But anyway, it's pretty cool. I'd like to see somebody play something like, Bloodborne, or that'd be fucking
Frank
cool.
Blasey said, after Pac-Man, I heard they played the No Russia mission from Modern Warfare 2.
That would be fantastic. Like, what is this? What is this game? I want to go home. But listen,
Oh my God.
Robert, you said Vegas was family friendly. Okay, look. But like I said, these are the weirdest places people have played video games, but that's not that weird, really, right? I mean, there's sides of buildings. That's cool. But what about sex? Have you ever, listen, in the bedroom. Now, I'm going to say in the gay bedroom, and I'll explain to you why I'm saying that in a minute. But the next weirdest place people have played video games is in the bedroom. And here's why. If you go to Reddit, and I did Google this because I was curious. Do people play video games while they're having the sex? Because I never have done that. This guy says, I have done it. It's hot as hell. I suck my fiance off while he's playing every chance I get. Okay, all right. And then people are like, that sounds super hot, blah, blah, blah. And then I was just like, it's one of those acts that sounds better in fantasy than reality. Usually you can't focus on the game anymore, so you quit after 2 minutes and fully engage in sex. It's like sex in a pool, says Bloated Hamster. Hot in theory, a nightmare to pull off and not worth it. Step into my forest says, so my boyfriend has started sucking me off when I'm on a squad in Warzone. Having to concentrate and trying to sound like nothing's happening when my boyfriend has my dick rock hard is weirdly hot. Big Ben says, I have done it. Me and another guy were playing Mario Kart, and whoever had the lead was getting sucked off by a third guy. It was, and finally I'm like, what is this with guys? And then I look up at the top here, and it's, all I Googled was sex while playing video games, but it's for a subreddit called Ask Gay Bros. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why. So that's fine. So I went to another one. I wanted to see if any women had thought anything. This guy says, I haven't. But sometimes my Asian friend, who I blow regularly, and they're both men, so maybe it's just a gay thing, will play a game while I am performing oral on him. We only do this when we are sure that we have plenty of time and the mood is right. Like the mood is right. It is Bloodborne. There ain't no sucking in Bloodborne. When I go over to, Yoshi's Island Remastered, we can do the sucking. Basically, he can just lay back and relax while playing a game. I, on the other hand, can really forget about pleasuring him and just enjoy myself. But again, I don't see any women in this at all. So I'm very curious. I'm very curious if it is just a Kaiju says women do similar. Well, let me know if there's one woman watching. I know Jezebel watches the show. Let me know, because
Kaiju whispers like I was watching a video on Pornhub where they were doing it. So.
Yeah, they were. That's a new marketing thing for Starfield. If you could play Todd Howard's masterpiece, and this woman was getting her asshole. Why is he talking like that? Why am I talking like that? I don't know. It's too much. I've been spending too much time on the Gay Bros site, which I know. That's not a real thing. I know not all gay men speak like that. I'm not, come on now. Point being is the bedroom is a place that's pretty weird to play video games. You're offended by my gay voice? I'm offended. I got nothing. Okay, let's keep going. Another place, look at this. The first time anybody ever played a game in outer space, it was Tetris on the Game Boy. There's a Russian astronaut who was the first guy ever to play a video game in space. He likes to go by the name, he likes to go by the name of Alexander Serebrov. And he took his Game Boy into the space into space and played Tetris on it, which really isn't what I would choose if I was going into space.
Pretty low T.
It's pretty low T, yeah. But you can buy, somebody bought it, $1,200. This is the actual Nintendo cart of Tetris and the Game Boy that was flown into space for the very first time. That's not bad. And, $1,200, that's probably going to go up in price. Probably already has. This was sold like 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. So astronauts do play in space. This guy took Starfield into space. This astronaut was a huge Starfield fan, played it with his kids. He actually brought Starfield onto the International Space Station, I believe. Daniel Barry is this guy. So astronauts are playing video games now, and now they're doing it more. Like now they have laptops.
Did you mean StarCraft?
What did I say? Starfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I meant, he took, this guy took StarCraft from Blizzard into space because he played it a lot with his kids. I don't think he was able to get a connection, obviously, and play it in space or play it on the space station, but he did have it up there. And now
There's a single player mode.
Yeah, and now a lot of the astronauts have like NASA approved laptops that, don't give off certain radiation or whatever. And so they're actually playing whatever they want or watching movies and stuff, which is pretty fucking cool. I think it'd be pretty fucking cool to play a video game in space. To have one of my games played in space is pretty fucking cool. So
what game would you take to space?
What game would I take to space? If I could get an internet connection, I would take Marvel Snap. And that's what I would take to space. But if I couldn't get an internet connection, I would probably take Elden Ring because I need to fucking finish the game. And I was trying to figure out what the number one game was astronauts play now on the space station, but I couldn't find that. I couldn't find that data. But it's interesting. So the space is the other one. Now listen to this. Now we're getting a little bit weirder. I promised you guys we're gonna get into the weird now. I like the weird. I was thinking about, let me ask you this. Do you think, well, I'm giving it away, but would you be surprised to learn that prisoners are allowed to play video games in prison?
No, because when my brother went to prison, he wrote me letters talking about all the stuff he was allowed to do. And I was like, what the fuck?
What games did he play?
Well, he didn't tell me about playing video games, but he was like, there's a room here where everybody can play music instruments and stuff. I was like, what?
Okay.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, so prisoners can play games. A lot. It started as like an incentive, good behavior, substance abuse treatment programs. Now they're getting, prison approved iPads that they can buy or they can get for free depending on their status, and they're playing. Obviously, they're not connected to the internet. And if you're like in the shared community areas of the prison, they're playing a lot of Call of Duty, it says. But other than that, there's no mature games. They can't go out to the internet. And they have to be consoles that the prison has approved. And it's interesting because they're like, what was happening is people were getting consoles sent in and there were drugs inside the consoles. And so they said no. So there's a company that rose up to meet this demand. It's called Fully Loaded. They literally, that's what they do. They take video games and they make them for prisons. And they'll take all of the games, all the consoles. You've got the Wii, you've got Xbox X1, S, you've got PS5. All of these, they'll go in and they'll modify it for the prisons, usually just the Wi-Fi and the internet, but other things they can take out and add. Then obviously they'll kind of case it so, no one can fuck with it. There's a whole fucking business around this, which is crazy to me. You can build a fucking business around any of this shit. It's crazy to me. So
I wonder
yes.
why they don't want them to go online.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? You fucking kidding? I don't know. People are fucking weird, man. People are
Well,
fucking
hey, if
weird.
they could watch porn, they might not be raping each other in there.
Well, I mean, maybe that's one of the things is like you don't want to go to prison because you'll get raped. Maybe that's one of the incentives not to go to prison. I don't know.
I thought we're supposed to be rehabilitating people.
Yeah, but think about this for a minute. Joking aside, part of the rehabilitation is reward for good behavior. But the other thing that's interesting, they can't sit all day and play. But video games for a lot of people are such a great escape from just their real lives that, I don't know, it's probably like, yeah, fuck, I'll sit in prison and you'll pay for all my shit and I won't have to do any work and I can just sit and play video games all day. That's not what it is because you probably can only play an hour a day or I don't fucking know.
Have you ever heard of Fleece Johnson?
Fleece Johnson? No.
Yeah.
Should I have?
Can I send you a link to a video?
Well, I don't know. What is it? Am I going to get, demonetized if I show it?
No. It's about a guy who's in prison who talks about being in prison.
Yeah, send it to me. But I'll watch it a little bit later. Hey, do me a favor, Bukaki. Can you join the call-in waiting room and see what Psycho wants to talk about?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, listen to this. Here's another weird place to play video games. The bedroom. What? That doesn't make sense, Jaffa. You're a moron. No, I'm not, because it's not your bedroom. There's two cases here that I think are just fantastically bizarre. The first one is this guy just breaks into somebody's house, very nice house, in a gated community. And he literally made dinner in the kitchen. He drove their car around, and he played video games in their bedroom. So people play video games in other people's houses. But that's not the best one of this. The best one of these is the guy, we talked about this guy on I Love the Weird, which is another show we have here. This was a guy who stalked this woman on OnlyFans, and he lived in her attic for like a month. And so she was home, and he would sneak down when she was sleeping and take videos. It's a weird story because he thought she wanted that, and he thought she wanted like to have, kind of like rape and break-in fantasy games because they had sex before. And he's in jail now. They're like, no. But he would sit up there in the attic while she wasn't home or while she was asleep, and he would play video games waiting for her to come home. So, here he is right here if you don't believe me or if you want to look him up. He was OnlyFans stalker case. Man accused of hiding and taking lewd photos awaits the verdict. There he is. And he got the verdict. He's in jail for a year. And he would sit up there and, he says he admitted to taking videos of the woman's private parts, stealing her underwear, and renting a place to stay nearby. In both places, he would play video games because he sometimes slept between multiple intrusions at the young woman's house. So, not hard to stalk someone on OnlyFans, to be fair. Just need to open up the website. Well, I think it's not that it's hard, it's that you shouldn't fucking do it.
I guess romance is dead.
Romance is totally dead. He's totally dead. Stoner Joe, thank you for the super chat. He says, hey, Jaffe, the narrator in God of War was amazing. How'd that go about? I have another super chat I'm going to get to after this segment. Then I will get to this one, Stoner Joe. It's an interesting question, and I'm happy to answer it. And I appreciate the super chat, buddy. But first, we got to get to the last place that is.
Listen.
There, what, yeah. What does Psycho want to talk about?
He wanted to talk about why dudes get raped in prison.
Save it. We'll get to it. But let me go through this segment first. Okay.
If you do talk about that, play the video I sent you.
Oh, maybe.
It's not.
I know.
Not like
okay. Well,
explicit.
let's move forward. Then we'll get back to it. Okay.
Okay.
So there's two more places that are really fucking weird. This one is fucking cool, but fucking weird. Playing video games while you are driving the car. And I don't mean like the Tesla. I don't know if there was supposed to be a law that the Tesla touchscreen that used to be functional for games while you're driving, you weren't allowed to do it. But I don't know if that law has passed yet. So early on in the days, you could play fucking Angry Birds and shit while you're driving. But that's not what I'm talking about. This motherfucker, this guy's wearing a virtual reality headset while he's driving in the real world. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. Did you ever see that movie Deja Vu with Denzel Washington, where he had that headset and he could see, I think it was like 8 minutes into the past or into the future, and he got in a car chase where he had to wear the headset and drive the car?
No, I never saw that.
It was awesome. It was totally awesome. But anyway, this is a guy who puts a headset on, and he's driving around wearing it, but he's seeing an environment that matches the road 1-to-1, and it's fucking cool. And I would do this in a heartbeat.
Pine coins are scattered around the track.
So check this shit out. I'm gonna turn the audio down, but there he is up there with the goggles. He's got all this. It's basically a video game, but it just happens to be in the real world, where he's driving, and it would have to be 1-to-1. Can you imagine if it gets out of line?
Is this augmented reality, or is everything he's seeing?
This is full VR. So if you look at his headset, he's fully encased. And if you look to the left and look to the right, he's got peripheral vision outside of his windows and all that. I guess you've got the guy sitting co-pilot with him that I guess can hit the brakes or stop it at any time. But I mean, I would fucking do this. Isn't this cool? I would fucking do this in a heartbeat.
Man, it would take a while to let yourself just do it.
I don't think it would take a while at all. I think after a couple of seconds, you go, okay, this is just normal. I think what would fucking blow your mind is if you're playing this and suddenly you explode in a ball of fucking fire, and then you're like, oh shit, I guess it didn't work. But that's pretty fucking cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Now here's the weirdest places, or the weirdest place to play the video games, and that is at your own funeral.
In your car?
No, at your own funeral. Here's a guy who's dead. If you can see him on the screen, he's a fellow who liked to go by the name Renard Matthews. Died in New Orleans, only 18, but he loved the video games. And his parents had a viewing of the body, sitting in a chair. Oh, yeah. Sitting in a chair, playing his video games, surrounded by Doritos. Jeff Keighley sponsors this dead body, and all the shit he likes. So that's it's weird.
Oh my god,
it's weird, but it's not too weird. You gotta respect it a little bit. PM45 says his family's fucked up for doing it, but Exile says one word, lag. Yeah, there's going to be some lag there with a dead body. That's true.
This is fucking wild.
Yeah, look at that.
This is crazy.
Yeah. What the truth is, he probably finished Elden Ring before I did. In this state. So yeah, Cosmic Bandito says now that's love. Anyway, there you go. There's the weirdest places to play video games that I have seen so far. If you know, Struggle says that boy got swagger. He sure does. If you know any other weird places, please hit me up, because I find this so fascinating that I want more. I was looking to see if anybody had been buried alive. Not buried alive, but buried in playing video games. The only thing I could find, and this is pretty cool. This is a video game at the GDC kind of experimental thing called Grave Call, where you literally put yourself, this is the Kotaku guys playing it, you put yourself in a coffin, and you have a cell phone interface that has very little power, and you're talking to a 911 caller who's the other player, and you're trying to figure out where you are based on the hints that you can give him. before your power runs out and you die in the coffin. So, you know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'd play that. I love that idea. But send me some if that's real. Have you ever heard somebody actually down there buried alive, which I don't think exists? That'd be fun. All right, fellas. I want to get to some of these super chats real quick, and then I'm going to show you some really weird fucking stuff. And we're going to talk. Do we want to talk to Psycho real quick first, Bukaki?
I don't know, because when I got in, he's like, "Oh, I just started watching."
Let's
I was
bring him
okay,
on.
do you want to talk to him or not?
If he's boring, we'll kick him off.
Okay, here he comes.
Here he comes. Hello, Psycho. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, hi there.
What's going on?
It's actually pretty nice. It was pretty nice. It's pretty nice to meet you actually because
You and I have talked before.
I know, but I've been a big fan of the games you made since I was a kid.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Okay, okay. Back to the topic again. About the OnlyFans thing.
Yeah.
With the guy who was stalking her. I was like, when I was listening to this, what the hell?
Yeah, it's fucking, guys are fucking weird, man. I mean, guys are, I saw this guy on the internet this weekend who, spent tons of money and drove across the country to see Amaranth, whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh, yeah, it was one of her mods.
And it was like, dude.
Oh my God.
It's like, come on, man. What's the matter with you?
The fact that he was taking pictures of her genitalia and oh
my stars and garters. Anyway,
so when she does it for money, it's okay, but when he does it, it's not.
That's
wow.
right. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about, Psycho?
Okay, it's about the prison thing. And no, Bukage, it's not. It wasn't about how prison people get raped. It was about the console stuff and how they're playing video games in those
I
prisons.
misunderstood. Sorry.
That's okay.
How dare you?
All right, well, let's go.
All right.
Let's go. What's the story?
Okay, let's see. Let's ask. Do you think those guys might have been used? Oh, right. You said that there might have been drugs found in the consoles. How did that stuff even get in a console?
Oh, come on, man. If you've not seen the if you've not seen the video of how they smuggle drugs into prison, like in Coke, and it's like a magic trick. It's like you unscrew the bottom of the Coke and you put it inside, but there's a layer that has the liquid, so you'd never know. I mean, there's a million ways to do it. It's not that big of a deal. If you think about a console, there's so many places that you could fucking hide the dope in there, easy.
Yeah, but I think it would be at the cost of breaking the console, right?
I don't think if you're getting drugs smuggled to you via a console and you are in prison, your biggest concern is, finishing Elden Ring.
Yeah, most of that From Software games, the modern ones, are very hard.
Yes, let's stay focused on the topic, though. Let's talk about prison. Or was that all you wanted to say?
No. Okay, let's see.
No, not let's see. We got to roll, baby. Get to the meat.
Oh, okay. I wonder if people actually put knives in, also smuggled knives in there, like weapons.
Yes.
Of course, they did.
Always. You saw that guy who killed George Floyd got stabbed by a guy who made his own homemade weapon, his own homemade knife, stabbed him like 36 times.
36 times.
He didn't kill him, and from what I heard now, because it was so funny, because they showed a picture of the guy who did it, and he looks just like the butler from the show Jesse Bertram. I know the show because my kids.
I never seen that.
He looks just like that guy, but apparently his name came out. And now people are like putting money on his commissary card through the internet because they wanted to kill the guy. I wanted him to die.
That's something new I haven't heard about.
I think depending on the level. Although now he's probably in solitary. I don't fucking know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, look, buddy. Listen. Thank you for calling. It's good to talk to you again, Psycho. Please call back anytime.
It's starting good topics unless I find something interesting to talk.
Call whenever, buddy. Just
I
hit me up. Be well. Talk to you soon.
See you soon, pal.
Yep. All right, there he goes off into the night. Let me get these super chats real quick. Stoner Joe says the narrator in God of War was amazing. How'd that go about? Her name is Linda Hunt. She won an Oscar for a movie called The Year of Living Dangerously. Very well-respected, well-trained actress. I first came across her in the David Lynch movie Dune, where she played a very minor role, and her voice was amazing back then. I watched Dune from Lynch recently, and it's still, I mean, it's weird, but it's still got a lot to love about it. But anyway, so that's how I found her. And I just always loved her voice. And when it came time to cast, I was like, you know who would be great? And no one knew who I was talking about. But I introduced her to folks, and they were like, oh man, she's awesome. So we reached out, and she said she'd do it. Bukaki, I'm going to get this call. Can you talk to the good people of the chat?
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Rumor that he hates the modern God of War games. Is it true? Yeah. He's very bitter. He hates all the people that worked on the new games. Every day he writes their names in a death note that he bought from Hot Topic, and he like prays to God that it will work and actually kill them, but it never does. So he repeats the same process every night before bed. I only know because he accidentally left his mic on once and was whispering the names as he wrote them.
The fuck are you talking about?
Nothing.
All right. Casual Noob Gamer says this. Thank you for the super chat. He says, have you discussed how Sony's pulling digital licenses for movies but pushes buying movies on Sony Pictures app? Digital future sucks. We discussed it just really quickly. What I'll say about it is I'm a huge fan of digital, but I have a real issue with what Sony did. Apple has done it. There are a couple of class action lawsuits that recently, as of October, a judge has allowed to proceed, but those are less about the fact that they're able to do what they're doing and more about how they communicate it. So, you know, I think it's a really bad look for these companies, and I think eventually customers, like, I don't know many people who bought many of these Discovery shows on PlayStation. You know, I don't think it's going to cause a brouhaha. But sooner than later, there's going to be some point that tips it over, and it really forces those industries to make things a lot clearer, change the terms of service. I mean, it's ridiculous. The terms of service now is stupid. I had somebody tell me on the Discord, I think, that legally speaking, terms of service, I don't know if this is true. This can't be true, but he said his lawyer told him that legally speaking, terms of services for like video games or whatever struggle to be held up in court, because if you sign a contract but it's clear you haven't read it, then it's not binding. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he said. But who the fuck sits there and reads all those goddamn things? So I mean, I think it's bad. I think it's insane. I don't have a problem if Netflix or Game Pass pulls something, because I'm not paying for that title. I'm paying for just whatever's on at any time. But they've communicated what that means and what that relationship is. But when I buy something, I understand I'm buying a license, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? If I buy something and your company isn't able to keep the license that you sold to me, then you give me my fucking money back, or at least give me the money in my account. Because you don't, even though I know I signed the terms of service, it's absolutely unacceptable. You can go fuck yourself. That's what I think. Bukaki, what do you think?
I agree. If you pay for something, you should own it, digital or not. Yep. It's pretty bullshit that they can just say, oh, actually, our deal ran out with these guys, so that thing you paid for is gone. Sorry. It's like,
right.
How the fuck is that even legal?
Well, because you signed a terms of service. RPG says don't say buy then, just say you fucking give temporary access. And yeah, I mean, it may come down to that, even though that is what they're saying. They need to make it very clear, like a box opens up. It's like, hey, just a reminder, probably not, but it's possible we could take this away at any time. Do you really want to buy it, or would you like to rent it or something?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay,
with those,
you know.
Another note with those terms of service is there's always a part in the terms of service that says we reserve the right to change this at any time for any reason.
The terms of service?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. You're telling me
Yeah.
they can just lie about
Well,
they can just make new shit up?
Yeah.
I don't think you're telling the truth.
It doesn't matter anyway because, like you said, nobody reads it, so it doesn't.
Yeah, but if they try to hold that up in court, they're going to be like, "Yeah, I don't think so." But anyway, all right. I want to show you some stuff that's weird, and then I have a question that I don't understand, and it has to do with, I think it's pornography, but I don't know. But I'm going to show it to you. But first, I want to show you this because I just find augmented reality cool as fuck. And I know, like, stupid.
It's the future.
Yeah, but this is fucking awesome. I got to show you this. Let me set this screen up real fast. Game screen. Yeah. Come on now. Is this it? No. Come on. No. Fuck you. Hang on, fellas. I'm sorry. I apologize. Never buy digital if this bugs you, says Ravnos. Well, yeah, I mean, I will continue to buy digital, and I'm very happy to buy digital. But, you know, it's still bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, like, personally. I don't really give a fuck, but it is bullshit. Like, it's a stupid business practice, and it needs to be fixed.
I agree. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, sorry, fellas. Okay, check this shit out. This is augmented reality future. Check
It's
it
the
out.
members list. Oh, there you go.
So they just announced this and showed this off the other day. It's a real basketball game where the players are not wearing any gear or equipment. They don't even have to know about this shit. But the company tracks enough of their joints to build models out of them. And then if you're wearing augmented reality glasses, you can sit there and watch the goddamn thing happen on a fucking table in your house. And you can watch it on the screen, and you can also watch it like this. I think this is cool as shit. I love stuff like this. This is the future. Love it, don't love it, but you fucking should love it because I'm right and you're wrong. Okay. Why don't you think people are impressed by this shit like I am, Bukaki? Like, you wouldn't do this? You wouldn't if you...
This is impressive, and I think a lot more people would pay attention to it because it's sports.
Right. I mean, imagine watching the Super Bowl and it's on a big screen and all your friends are around.
I mean, they're
and
already
then, but you
kind of
also
doing
have this on the table in front of you, you know, and you can kind of go, oh, look at that play. Let's rewind it, or let's change the perspective. I mean, that's fucking cool.
Did you catch that NFL broadcast where they turned the teams into toys from Toy Story?
No. When was that recent?
Yeah, that was this season. It was one of the games. They played a game, and they turned all the players into little toys from Toy Story, and they were playing in Andy's room, and all like the little toys and stuff were watching and making comments and stuff.
But it was an actual game?
Yeah, it was an actual game on ESPN. Like, you know, Disney owns them, so they have the rights to do that stuff. But they do it. They did it last year with Nickelodeon, where like SpongeBob was commentating with Patrick, and whenever they scored touchdowns, they had slime and shit shooting all over the screen.
Interesting.
But they're already kind of doing stuff like this. It's just on the TV still, not on your table.
Yeah, and people in the chat are like, you know, it's a tech solution, but there's no issue. It's cool. It's just fucking cool. Why would I do that and not watch it on the screen? You would do both.
Ravnos is funny.
Ravnos, yeah.
I would not watch games like that if they paid me.
Well, don't worry, no one's gonna pay you.
Okay.
You know, how about we still watch the real thing? You can do both. I'm not, you know, you can fucking do both, man. It's fucking cool. Whatever.
All I'm saying is it would be sick if I didn't have like, I couldn't watch it on TV or something, and I didn't just want to fucking put it on my phone. Like, I was busy doing something on my phone, and I could just put some fucking glasses on, and this is playing on a flat surface or something.
Yeah, no, if anybody's watching this and thinking what I'm talking about is wearing big VR goggles or taking your phone and doing all this shit, like holding your phone up, no. I'm talking about, you know, we're getting closer and closer and closer to being able to literally put on a pair of glasses and suddenly you have augmented reality. That's what I'm talking about. But this is a step. We got to take steps. We got to move towards these things.
Well, according to Nodog, you're just too easily impressed by tech.
I guess so. I'm trying. I'm trying to see. The comments are just like, where's the one?
Uncensored Maverick. Nobody cares.
Yeah, well, fuck you, bitch. I care.
Go suck a big fucking
I think that'd be
dick.
cool as hell.
Okay, I do too. All right, but here's something you will care about. I promise. I promise. Uncensored Magnet Maverick, whatever the fuck your name is, fucking idiot. You're gonna be interested in this. See this guy going around, 30-year comic book shop owner. Have you watched this yet?
I don't have it up on the screen. Oh, no,
Well,
I haven't seen it.
Here you go. It's a little rant he gave. It's only a minute.
Most of these new
I'm gonna
writers
play the audio on YouTube.
don't have the love of comics like these older writers had. And all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People grew up, are growing up loving Peter Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's again how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why most of the stuff is shit. Because we don't care what you would do, because we don't care about your life whatsoever. Just write a book, get paid for what you do, get paid for what you're supposed to be doing, and make it a good story. Most of these new writers.
So I just want to say, I mean, I saw this, and it's easy to mock the guy, and I do mock the guy. But what's funny is, I mean, one of the best, and this is video game related, I promise. But what's funny is,
Don't have the
one of the best conversations I ever had about writing was with a video game writer who was working with me on Twisted Metal Black, and he said to me, he says, I can't write a character. He was writing Spider-Man and Wolverine at the time. He said, that I can't write a character unless I identify with at least one part. So whether I'm writing Spider-Man or the Green Goblin, I have to find a part of me so the character actually feels real. So this guy's just funny. It's like, dude, don't fucking tell right. Fuck you. You go write something. You go fuck. I mean,
Right.
people like this piss me off. It's like, if then go write it. That's
Well,
how
aren't,
writing,
aren't the most popular comic characters are the ones that people can relate to? Like, isn't that why Spider-Man's one of the biggest fucking superheroes?
Yes. CR3D says he's right, though. Too much self-inserting. That's what writers do. They have to find a way into the character. And I agree, Ravno. Stan Lee is dead and was a bad writer. Yeah, he was. I mean, for his time, what he did was more than good enough to change the industry. But the industry was pretty simple back then. But no, I'm with you. But anyway, though, I thought this guy was interesting. I mean, I don't know. I found him disturbing, frankly. It's like, I love comic
most of the
books
chat
too.
agrees with him.
I know. I know. I'm looking right now. He's right, though. All right. Well, I don't know if most of the chat agrees. They don't like his teeth. I possibly would read some of their books if they wrote about a new character. The issue is changing old characters makes them suck. But I don't agree. It doesn't make them suck. It's just a story. It's like, if, the idea when it's like, we're going to make Thor a woman for a little bit, and then they bring it back, and then they try something else. I mean, it's, they got to make new stories, man. Twisted Sith says, how rotted do you think Stan Lee is by now? Excelsior, I'm down to the bone, baby.
I'm not even sure, like, people don't want new shit. They just want to watch the fucking Office on Netflix and fucking...
People want
they want to
comfort.
play...
I get it.
They
But
want to play 100 fucking remasters of The Last of Us. Hey, Pete Turtle's in the waiting room. You want to bring him in?
yes, in a minute. But I
Okay.
got to show you guys one more thing. I got to show you guys this porn. Because I really, I consider myself relatively intelligent. I don't know how they did this. And it's not nudity or anything, so it won't get me banned. But I don't understand this. I saw this on the strangest media online, right? I don't know if you can see it yet. But Let me fix the screen.
I've
But
seen this.
I don't understand because they pick him up and he. Let me turn on the audio. He clearly is dealing with real physics, so he's there. It's not like he's green screened, right?
He's just a little guy.
But that doesn't exist. Because look at I mean, right? Is it forced perspective? I mean, is
He's just a small dude.
No, what is a small dude? 2 inches? How many feet do you think this guy is?
He's like 3'6" or something.
Okay, let me adjust the screen here. Okay, there we go. He's 3'6", is what you think. Okay, so 3'6". Denova says it's perspective. It can't be perspective because he's engaging with them, right? That's not forced perspective like the Hobbit. So he's 4 feet, and they're 6 feet, and then they're 11 feet tall because of heels. Okay,
Yeah.
so in that, if you're, so let's say I'm 5'6", but he's probably, this big. And I'm so, really?
They might just be a smaller set too.
The set's got to be small. I mean, that's weird. That looks like there are different species. That's like some Hobbit shit.
Those
Anyway.
are some Amazons.
And why is he wearing a Miles Morales mask? What is this show? Well, it is called The Strangest Media Online. So, anyway, I was curious, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's just possible. And
I've seen some shit.
This is not my look. I don't kink shame anybody. It's not my choice. What my choice is to follow Strangest Media Online on Twitter, which is great. It's all kinds of crazy shit. Oh no, the casual noob gamer says he has a mask on because he's a kid. Oh. That's terrible. That's terrible. All right, let's bring in, fella, before we bring in Pete Turtle, because I know he's, there's love and hate with Pete Turtle. That's mostly the show, though. So we're going to bring in Pete Turtle, talk for a bit, talk to the chat, then head out for the night. But what I'll tell you is thank you for watching the show. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bukaki. Thank you, mods. New members, old members, lurkers, super chatters. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. I appreciate it very, very much. I'll be back on, don't forget, tomorrow night, me, Gene Park, and it sounds like Gaz from Game On Daily are going to be smoking the dope and watching the Game Awards, streaming it. That's tomorrow. And then if I don't have a terrible pot hangover, I'll be doing a stream on Thursday. But tomorrow, 4:45, because the show, California time, because the show starts at 5 o'clock California time. So, all right, let's bring in Pete Turtle. Here we go. How do I get him in here? Hang on a second.
I got it.
Okay. Well, my stars and garters, look who has appeared. It is Pete Turtle. How are you, Pete Turtle?
Oh, hold on. How does this new
Hold
thing work?
on. You've been sitting there waiting for fucking 40 minutes. Now we got to hold on. What have you been doing?
What the hell just happened?
What do you mean, what the hell just happened?
I'm trying to get this to go on speaker mode, but...
Nobody gives a shit about your life, Pete Turtle. Just get to the point. What do you want to talk about?
All right. I couldn't hear you before. But anyway, what's going on, man? Long time.
Where you been? People think you were scared and you ran off.
Scared of what?
Because you said we ruined your life when that video went viral.
You did, but I changed my name.
What is it now?
Well, remember it was the artist formerly named Pete Turtle.
Okay, fair enough. So what do you want to talk about?
I was gonna ask you because I just finished watching the GOP debate. So I
the debate
missed
in
most of
Alabama? That was tonight?
Yes, tonight.
Oh fuck, I missed it. Oh, how did Nikki Haley do?
Horrible. Like you don't love this country.
What?
Yeah, Vivek was killing her.
Oh, he's an idiot. He's a fucking moron.
I love him, man. He's the next great thing, next to Trump, and Trump is gonna save us.
You're a dork and you know it. Okay, so you watched that.
That's right, Pete Turtle.
Well, I was gonna ask you, are you doing a show tomorrow?
Yeah.
For the Game Awards?
Oh yeah.
So why are you?
I got Gene Park coming. He's the.
Who the hell is that?
He's the goddamn one of the head of video game writer for the goddamn Washington Post that broke the fucking Watergate story. So back the fuck up. We got.
Yeah, well, he didn't break it. I don't
know,
care
but he
about him.
works at a
But-
very esteemed newspaper, and he's a great guy and he's a great journalist.
Okay, is he the Asian guy that talks to Colin and them?
I don't know if he's Asian. I don't see color.
You don't see. Well, can you see his eyes? Do they look like our
He
eyes?
is Asian. Yes, he is.
Okay, he's Asian. So let me ask you this: if you're doing a show tomorrow and you're doing it with him, why are you not having me on there at least for a segment?
Oh,
have
because
a
I
lot to
want
say.
people to watch the show.
You don't think people would watch if I was there?
I mean, you can call in, but you know,
All right, I'll call in.
I mean, you can't
but
call
I
in
wanna
and
do-
stay on for hours unless you entertain. But trust me, here's the deal. I love talking to you, Pete Turtle. I think you're out of your goddamn mind. But think about this. When you call in, there's a group of the audience that adores you, and there's a larger group that says, even Hangry Dad is just like, no.
Well, can I ask you something? Have you ever thought that maybe if you had me on more often, you would kind of weed out those weaker viewers that can't handle the truth?
Baby, I
And
need
that
all
you
the,
would
I need
build
all the
a new
viewers I
audience.
can get. Have you seen my? I'm grateful for everybody who shows up.
I'm just saying, you would build a new audience. Because remember, last time I spoke to you, I went viral.
Do I
Like
want to
2.5
talk to
million
somebody?
views, baby.
A new audience built around a guy who basically dates a 17-year-old girl when he's like 40?
Not basically, I do. And she's going to be 18 soon, and I'm kind of depressed.
You're a fucking pedophile.
No, in New York, 17 is legal.
Okay.
So don't blame me. Blame
I'm
the
not. I'm
lawmakers.
not. Look, I'm not blaming you. I mean, there's a. You know, I'm just saying, P Turtle, that.
Damn, I think Pete Turtle lost all his support just now.
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, let me ask you this though, Jaffe. Did you
Yeah.
talk about GTA?
Yes, we did.
Did you cover? Jason Schreier did an article, I think, like a year ago, and he basically revealed that that game is going to be woke.
Who did it?
He's Jason Schreier, that tiny ugly guy.
Who is that?
Little
Schreier
Jason
is-
Schreier, folks.
Little Jason Schreier.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh,
That
yeah,
weasel.
yeah. Okay, so I don't think he knows that, but I mean, certainly nothing in the
Why
trailer
wouldn't he
seemed.
know that?
Well, because the game's a year ago. The game was 3 years out, and the game's not done
They've
yet.
been working on that game since I was in my 20s.
Okay, fine. So what was he being specific about? Because I think you would agree that nothing in the trailer stood out as woke, correct?
Absolutely, it did.
Oh Lord, here we go. What in the
It
GTA?
absolutely-
What in the GTA 6 trailer, P Turtle, stood out as woke?
I mean, it's not like.
Although
something that
you
they-
know it wasn't woke, because where's the game set?
I'll
The
I'll
game
figure
is
it
set
out.
in Florida. What happens in Florida? That's where woke goes to die, says DeSantis. So I think you're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong. I'm telling
Okay,
you
how
right
is
now,
it woke? How is it woke?
Because you're playing as a Spanish woman. That is a protagonist of your game.
You're playing as two people, but one of them is a Spanish woman. So how is that
one of-
woke?
the other one is her cuck boyfriend. Literally, he was behind her the whole trailer.
They were fucking at the end of the trailer.
Entire trailer. First of all, did we even get his name? Did we even know what the hell was up with him? Did he even speak?
Yeah, he spoke. He had a couple lines.
Yeah, the one line I think he said is he was gonna follow her lead or something like, yeah, I'll trust you.
But
That's it.
why?
We know
What,
nothing about the guy.
what is woke about having a Spanish woman with this? You know, Spanish women really exist, correct?
I know, and they look good.
So what's woke about it?
Pete Turtle
What
would
I'm
rather
saying
look at a white guy than a
I
hot
mean,
Spanish
there,
girl.
there was a
not true.
black dude in San Andreas is the lead. There was a Russian dude in 4. In 5, you know, it was a fat bald guy as one of the 4 leads. I mean, what do you?
But what do all these people you just named? What do they have in common? They're all
A
men.
penis.
Exactly.
So
What I'm saying.
so
when
you're
there's
saying
smoke,
that you
there's
put
fire.
a woman in a game and it's automatically woke?
I'm saying in today's world, absolutely. And then again, when you read the article by Jason Schreier, he spoke about how basically that old rock star culture, they had a frat boy culture that they're pretty much all gone, and there's a new rock star there, and they're
Okay.
not punching down anymore. They want to make. They said what he said is he's interested in seeing if this new game will still appeal to the old Rockstar fans, the old GTA fans, because it's not going to be like it's gonna
Okay,
be
then
something a little
let's
bit
assume
different, a lot
everything
more
little
nice.
Jason S. wrote in his story is correct. And let's say it is still a great game, but it is woke or it does punch down. Although I will say, Witch X in the chat says, when did Rockstar... Let's get her question first. I'm assuming it's a her because it says Witch.
You got a girl in your chat?
I don't know, but I'm just... Let's stay focused,
I
P. Turtle.
I doubt it.
Fair enough, P. Turtle. Witch X says, when did Rockstar ever punch down? That's a great question. Do you know? When were they punching down?
I don't think punching down is even a thing, so I wouldn't say ever. But
And why
that's
did you
what
have an
they said.
issue with it?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying they
Good one,
said
good one,
that.
Bukaki.
I'm saying that's what they said, and based on the article that Jason Schreier wrote.
So what
I'm
do you
basically
think?
taking that as this is going to be a more inclusive, a more nice.
Dougie
game.
Jones says Chris Hansen needs to pay you a visit, P. Turtle.
Ghetto God said his problem with the girl is that she's not 17.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about Chris Hansen to this Bukaki guy? Wasn't he getting hit on by Fleece Johnson?
I don't know who Fleece Johnson is. Listen, let's
That
focus.
that was in the.
I don't want to
Boondocks.
change
That
the
was a
topic. I
cartoon.
want to get to the point of what you think GTA 6 would need to change to lose your interest. Like, what have they done that you don't think?
To be honest, it already lost my interest. And what I'm saying is, nothing in the trailer was specifically that's woke. What I'm saying is, just like every other property.
Hang on,
that
P.
we've
Turtle.
seen-
Hang on, P. Turtle. Hang on.
I was about to cook.
Oh, he's on the phone. What's
What
up,
the
P Turtle?
hell?
I have to go sign for a package. I will be right back. Bukaki, would you mind
I got
continuing?
this. Don't worry.
Keep going. You guys
Yeah.
go.
Keep
You
going.
guys
Keep
go.
going, P Turtle. I want to hear what you have to say.
I'll be back
You
in 2
seem like
seconds.
You seem like a reasonable guy, and you seem like a guy that would actually let me talk. You know, Jaffe likes to hear me talk and then just jump in with his opinion. And it's like
I like how you were
let
about
me-
to cook, though. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
I'm about to cook.
Sorry to miss it.
I'll
All
let
right,
you
so
cook.
anyway, you know what I'm saying. There might not be anything like straight in your face woke about it, but in 2023, and did you read the article by not the article, but did you read the statements by Bob Iger? And he pretty much came out and said Disney's been woke and they need to stop that because they want to go back to making entertainment for everybody. I mean, the corporations are admitting it now.
No, I was too busy working out and eating steak to read anything about Disney.
I do everything you just did while I read. But nevertheless, he basically came out and admitted that this is what we need to stop doing because we're losing a lot of money. We're alienating our audience. What I'm saying is GTA now in 2023, well, it's coming out in 2025, is going to have a female character. Then you take the article by Jason Schreier. I think it's easy to surmise that this will be a woke game. Am I crazy in thinking that when you look at every other property that came out, they just made a Spider-Man 2 game where Mary Jane is basically John Wick. Did you play Spider-Man 2?
No, I don't. I didn't play that.
She's beating up Venom. She's kicking ass.
Yeah, I had no interest in it.
Me either. It's trash. I watched it online, but they literally interviewed the game director, and he came out and he said, you know what? I know in the first game there was a lot of blowback from adding her, and we could have taken her out, but no, we just felt like we had to put her in. We wanted her as a hero, and we wanted to make it better. And then he said, we heard the criticism that she might be a little overpowered, but he said, fuck it, who cares?
I mean, as soon as I saw that picture of Mary Jane looking like she was related to Jay Leno with that giant chin, I had no interest.
God, man. You take one of the hottest female characters in comic books and you turn her into a girl where if I literally seen her walk down the block, I would not turn around.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even check to see if she had a fat butt. I wouldn't check. If she dropped her groceries, I'm not helping picking them up. There's nothing in it for me. What am I going to get out of helping you pick the groceries up?
You want an alpha male like me to play your game and you put girls like that in there? Good luck, buddy.
Exactly. Bukaki, you know what? Jaffe needs to give you a bigger role in this show because you're speaking my language, man. We speak the same language. We eat steaks. We work out. You don't really read when you work out. I read when I work out. but I feel like, do you think I'm wrong about what I'm saying when it comes to this woke stuff, or do you think the woke thing doesn't exist?
Well, what does woke mean to you?
Well, I'll go by like the regular everyday definition of it, which is, just the message. They're putting an agenda in there, and that agenda comes before the writing, before the characters, before even quality. We're pushing a message, usually a
Um,
very progressive message.
yeah, I mean, I do see some of that stuff, but I just don't pay attention. Like that, like Forspoken game or whatever. Trying like people were saying that was woke. I checked out some of the trailers, some of the gameplay. I was like, I don't like this, so I just didn't pay attention to it. I don't care about it.
No, I know, but let me ask you this: Do you like the new God of War?
No, I didn't like the newest one.
I'm assuming you being on this channel, you must like the like original OG, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's not necessarily when I see things I don't like. I I see things I didn't even play that for spoken game. I don't even know what the fuck happens in that game. But when you take certain characters that people like, right? Again, Luke Skywalker, Kratos, whatever, and then you start making them bitch made. I mean, this Kratos, listen, I had a great dad. He spoiled me. But my
Yeah.
dad was tougher on me than Kratos. Kratos' son. Listen, I would get in trouble if I lied to my parents. This kid in the first game was killing people in front of his dad when his dad told him not to kill anybody. Spank him or anything. It's like,
Yeah.
who's writing this? It's almost saying, hey, you got to be a good dad. You got to understand your kid. Even if he kills somebody in front of you, you need to understand him. It's like,
I mean,
what is this writing?
I think it was kind of implied because Kratos would fucking like get hella pissed, and his kid would kind of cringe a little bit, like be scared. So they kind of implied
bit, yeah.
like he was maybe abusive, but I don't know. I feel you. When I was a kid, I got my ass beat with a belt all the time.
Yeah, listen. Like I said, I couldn't lie to my parents. I couldn't curse at my parents. I'm sure as hell not going to kill somebody in front of my parents when they tell me not to.
Why?
I'm shit. Jaffe, you're back?
Nope.
Oh man, I was cooking. I don't know if you smelled
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure you were cooking.
I was cooking, man. But anyway, I don't want to hold you guys up or anything. I think I made my point, and Bukaki's a pretty good host. He
Yeah.
actually lets me speak.
Well, he's high right now. When he gets off the
With you,
dope,
we
he'll...
would have gone in circles, and then there would have been no resolution, and then you would have hung up on me.
Well,
and you would've said, "This guy's crazy."
Bukaki, John Barnett in the chat says he wasn't cooking, Jaffe. You didn't miss anything. And Angry Dad says you lost another 40 viewers. You cook for shit, bitch. Jesus.
We both agreed that Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 is ugly.
Ugly. Would you say she was ugly, Jaffe?
Ugly? No, she was. Well, hang on. I mean, I'm not gonna. She
Would you have
was.
sex with her?
Sure. But
You would have sex with that? She might poke your eye out with that chin.
here's the deal. She was a very normal, natural, healthy-looking woman. Was she a supermodel? No. Is that weird given that the character Mary Jane actually is a supermodel? Yes. And Soup 185 says the reason you didn't like her, she's too old for you. She's like 20.
To some degree. And, well, you know what's funny? She's not even supposed to look that old. She looks like she's 40, but she's supposed to look like she's like 28 in that game. And then they have Peter Parker. They give him the new stupid face. And he looks like he's 19.
Okay.
I mean, that game is, oh my God. But anyway, I explained my beef with GTA or whatever. I won't keep you, but I was going to say, I'll call in tomorrow, Jaffe, if that's cool. I'll cook again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as for GTA 6 being woke, what I wanted to ask you real quick, though, is what would have to be out of GTA for you to say it has gone woke when it wasn't woke before?
What would have to be out of it?
What would Rockstar, what would the new Rockstar have to have pulled to confirm Schreier's article?
I'm pretty sure there's going to be no racial slurs in this game.
Were there ever racial slurs in GTA?
Oh my God, of course.
Like what?
Even the last one, they were saying the N-word left and right.
They were in San Andreas?
No,
No, in 5.
5 and in San Andreas.
Well, San Andreas, I thought it was sort of black folks saying it with the not hard R.
Well, yeah,
Go
it's the
ahead
same
and say
in
it if it's not
5.
so bad, Jeffy. Go ahead. I'll give you the pass right now, even though
I
I'm
don't.
not black.
There's a reason I won't say it, and I've already told you what the reason is.
Yeah, you're a coward.
No, because as I've said, when I saw Oprah Winfrey talk to Jay-Z about it,
Oh my God.
hey, she said that is the last word so many black men heard before they pulled the cart out from under him and hung him from a tree in the South.
Do you know how evil Jay-Z is? Do you know he's gonna go down next?
I don't give a shit if he's a bad guy. I'm not defending Jay-Z.
You're bringing up a guy who you're saying, "Oh, you should never say the N-word."
I didn't.
Meanwhile, all he raps about is drugs and killing people.
I didn't say.
Look how that influences his community.
Oh my
Go ahead,
Lord.
Go ahead.
This is what you think is cooking.
Go ahead.
You literally. I didn't say Jay-Z said it. I said Oprah was talking to Jay-Z, and Oprah said it.
She's evil too. She was out there, praising Harvey Weinstein, and hasn't said a thing since he's gone down. She was in cahoots with him, but
And she hung out with Paula Dean.
Oh,
exactly. Did you hear about the
I still want the GTA. Okay, so you guys in the chat, Bukaki, I don't remember, but GTA 5. Let's take that one. GTA 5 had characters running around saying the N word with the hard R. Is that correct?
I don't know about
No.
There might have been though. There might have been. Trevor might have said it.
Yeah,
Well, everybody in media says the N word with the soft A. I mean, that's not a problem for most people.
I can promise you in that this new one, not even the black NPCs, the fat black NPCs they had on the beach in that trailer, they will not say it. They will not. They're gonna replace it with something like sucker.
Okay.
All those black people are sucker.
Sucker, come on now. Suddenly it's in the 70s. But wait a minute. Okay, so that would be one thing they would take away. What else would they have to take away? Or that's it?
Almost sure they're gonna. No. I got a whole list. I'm pretty sure they're gonna take away picking up prostitutes.
Why would
took
they
that away from Red Dead 2?
Yeah, a casual noob gamer dropped a super chat that you missed.
No, I haven't missed it. I see it, but thank you though. I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with having sex workers in a game like this. I think that's bullshit. That should be in there.
I agree, but I'll tell you what though. If you do end up playing as the guy, you should
I think
be able to pick up female.
Absolutely. My understanding is you.
I'm telling you this right now, Jaffe. Though, if I'm playing that girl, you better not be able to pick up no male Johns or anything like that.
Why?
I don't want to see that in my game.
Then don't pick up a male John, you fucking idiot.
Because 90% of that game is made for men. It just is.
Wait a minute. I want to make sure I understand. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying about GTA 6. You're saying if you're playing the 6 and they do have sex workers and you can play the male character, which I think you can, you don't want to be able to be the male character and go pick up a male prostitute. That's what you're saying.
Oh, no. That I didn't even think of, and certainly that too.
Okay, but that's why I'm confused. You understand why I'm confused, right?
Yeah, I guess I
Because
get it.
why would you just don't go pick up I mean, there are male prostitutes all over San Diego. I've never stopped and talked to any of them. Just don't do it.
Why do you think? Okay, all right, fair enough. I just don't want that in my game because again, I feel like
It's not like a flavor in a cake that marbles in with everything else. It's literally an act. You can say, "I'm gonna go fuck a dude," and I'm playing as a dude, and you can choose not to do that. You can probably do that in Baldur's Gate 3.
Fair enough. You can have sex with bears in that game supposedly, but
right.
If you made a God of War game, or if your old God of War games had Kratos had given him the option to sleep with men, you don't think people would have been bothered by that?
I don't give a fuck if they would have been bothered. I wouldn't have done it because I never thought that Kratos would be that.
Question. It doesn't matter whether you care or not, but do you think that audience would have liked that?
I think there is a percentage of that audience, and that percentage was probably a lot bigger back then, that would have found that disturbing, disgusting, whatever. And I think
and
that
he certainly wouldn't be recognized as one of the most badass characters in gaming because he was out there probably getting his back blown out by some guys in Greece.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of people who feel that way about gay folks, but I wouldn't.
Is always good, but sometimes it can hurt the integrity of the game. It can hurt the spirit of the game.
Again, if you are making a game in this day and age, and you have a character who is a gay male, and the level of sort of nudity and sexual activity that has been in the earlier God of War games is in that game, then yeah, you're going to have to be really committed to it and be willing to take a sales hit from the people who are going to be offended by it.
You know what I would love for you to do?
But
I
you
would
know,
love for you
so
to
what?
Go back and play GTA 4 or 5 on your stream, because you would be shocked at how masculine those games were.
I'm not opposed to it being masculine, but you're talking about things like, you know, here's what I'll agree with you. If you take away the sex worker stuff, I think that's not good. I think what's fun about GTA is being able to go out and just be a fucking, you know, do all the things in real life, and that may be something you don't want to do in real life, but you get to go out and, you know, do all that crazy shit.
Right.
But that's different than going out and, you know, having a game that's filled with the N word with the hard R.
So would you be okay if it was not the hard R? Because that's not what we were talking about.
Well,
would you be okay if it wasn't the hard R in this game and a bunch of NPCs were saying?
Yeah, I'd probably be okay with it, because that's sort of what you see in media all the time. And it's kind of just like, you know, you've got white people saying it.
Damn, Jack, you're based. So you're saying even the white NPCs can say it?
I'm saying that in movies and television, a lot of white people will say it, and it usually comes back to haunt them or whatever. But look, I don't like racism shit. I don't like
racism. That's real life. You go to Miami, and that's all you're gonna hear left and right. The worst people.
It's not a documentary. You know, that's like saying
it's supposed to be a reflection of modern day Miami. That's why they got a bunch of girls twerking their butts all over the place,
which is great.
The influencer addiction and all that.
And
they're showing the vanity of Miami.
Great. I mean, again, here's what I can tell you, P Turtle. Listen to me for a minute. Let me answer your question. Although Hangry Dad says, can you ask P Turtle if he has an ankle bracelet on right now? Probably.
No, I have a good life and I'm a good guy.
Yeah. And your daughter agrees. I mean, your girlfriend agrees. So anyway, you know, here's what I tell you. As a white dude, like, I don't understand white dudes that want to say the N word. It's like, I know black people.
Totally
I know black people in the real world, and I know them, you know, in the media. I've heard people talk in the media who are black, and I know real life black people. They've always made it clear that white people saying it is hurtful and offensive. That's all I need. Why do you need to hear anything else? It's like somebody saying, hey, when you walk up and you punch somebody in the face, it hurts. Oh, okay, well, I won't do that then. Like, why do you want to hurt somebody?
When it's part of like the modern day lingo, like, okay, you said you listen to like some rap, right? You said you listen to Jay-Z. Don't you like Jay-Z or something?
I love Jay-Z.
So you're telling me you've never recited some of his lines?
Nope, I've never said that word in my life. Nope.
Okay. So to me, that's pathetic.
I don't give a shit if it's pathetic to you. I'm a nice guy.
Let me make the point. So
you saying to me that's pathetic is the point. There's another point coming.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm now gonna contextualize why it's pathetic.
Okay.
You have a guy
first,
like
please
Jay-Z.
go look up the word contextualize, P Turtle.
I'm gonna contextualize what I'm saying.
Okay.
So you look at a guy like Jay-Z, right?
I don't care if you believe me. Eric's like, I don't believe you. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
I don't believe him either, Eric.
Great.
But you got a guy like Jay-Z, right?
Yeah.
And he's monetizing that word. He's putting it in
Absolutely.
there for the masses to use.
Yep.
If you don't want people, you need to say something then like, hey man, this version is only for white people. You can only buy the abridged version.
Why?
The unexplicit version, because if I can't even recite the words that you're using that I'm paying good hard-earned money for,
no one is saying that. You can.
So
no one. I'm not saying there should be a law against it. You go say whatever.
I'm saying you shouldn't be shamed into not doing.
I'm not. This is what a lot of people on the far right think. It's like it's always this idea, like, you know, oh, you're letting somebody tell you what to do. It's not about shame. It's the same. It's the same reason when my dog takes a shit in a bush when I'm walking him around the neighborhood. I know I don't have to clean it up because no one can see it. And it's a lot easier not to clean it up, but I do because it's the right thing to do, right? Because
it's in your own bush. You're saying?
No, if I'm walking around the neighborhood,
you don't have to. I thought you have to by law. Got to pick that out.
Well, yeah, but no, you know, but I do not because of the law, but because it's the right thing to do, right? Or when no
Yeah, that
one's
is
out
the right
there.
thing to do. I agree.
Same thing with the N-word. I've had black people tell me it really is hurtful and harmful and offensive. And so I'm like, okay, I won't say it.
They say it more than any other word ever.
It's
in,
their
the history of-
word. That's like, you know.
Oh my God. You're sick. You're
Okay.
a sick individual if you
Yeah,
think that.
I'm the
sorry.
sick one, but you think that I should feel like there's no problem going around saying a word that is
Like I said, there's
hurtful.
context. If you're buying a rap album, if you're going to a rap
But
concert,
you act like I. This is what's funny about you. You act like I'm like really dying to say it, and I'm just like I'm having to hold myself back because I'm pathetic because I'm so woke. I don't want to say it.
I'm just saying, I think it's pathetic if you buy an album.
Pete Turtle,
spend
you're
money.
fucking a child. What do I care what you think is pathetic? I assure
I'm a
you.
grown man. Are you
if-
kidding me? My girl is a child. I'm a grown man.
I said you're fucking a child.
Oh, I'm thinking you're saying like you're a fucking child.
I know, and you,
that could
so,
go-
you know.
That's a double entendre. It can go both ways.
It's absolutely not a double entendre. Double
Because you
entendre.
could say
That just means it
All right,
has
go ahead.
two. A double entendre is you're saying one thing and it has two different meanings intentionally. That's not the same as I say something and you thought I said something
I'm
and
just saying you could use it. All right, well, all right, goddamn.
use it as a double entendre, P Turtle.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yes, but
I
that's
mean, you're a fucking child.
yeah, but that's not. I'm saying you're fucking a child.
You just told me to give you an example of it. I just did.
You
That's
added
why
a
I thought it was
word. You
double-
can't add a word and then say it was a
What
double
word did I add?
entendre.
What
You
word did I add?
added you're a fucking idiot. I said you're fucking an idiot, basically.
Oh, but I thought you said you're a fucking child.
Uh-huh,
That's what I said.
uh-huh.
I thought you said. Look at
Okay.
you. You're not that smart. I'm smarter.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Well, let me ask you this. We haven't spoken in a while. Do you miss me?
Oh God, yes, P Turtle.
Do you miss this?
I miss
I
it
mean,
when you
there's
have
gotta be-
something relevant to say. The problem with
I have
you,
not had anything relevant.
the
to say since
problem
I
with
met
you, P Turtle, is you're great to talk to. You're great to have on the show, but you don't go anywhere with it. It's like a great one-off, but so in limited amounts, I think the audience appreciates it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you would call in, and every time you called in, it was a really interesting hot button point, then I think it would be great. But every
Well, 'cause
time
I
it's
don't
like,
to talk about like things that we shouldn't be talking about. You know
what
I'm
shouldn't
saying?
we be talking about?
The way I look at it like this, I look at your show like this. It should be about video games, and I think you have a responsibility.
It is about video games, but we're at the tail end of an X-hour stream. At the end, I don't really mind making it about whatever.
Yeah, but what I'm
I
saying is
wouldn't
my
bring this up in
agenda
the
is always-
first.
my agenda is always to try and save gaming because it's dead right now. And unfortunately, your show is the only like speakerphone I have. So I have to use it in order to try and save gaming. And you believe it or not, as crazy and ridiculous of a human being you are,
Uh-huh.
compared to everybody else that's working in video games
Mm-hmm.
and that does a lot of streaming and journalism and all that when it comes to video games, you're probably more sensible than all of them, which is crazy to even think.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get through to you and then now you change
You
your
will
channel
never get
enough,
through to me.
I will get through to you.
Okay.
And it's been what, like 5 years? I'm getting there.
Okay.
If I can get through to you, then you can start reporting on the things that actually matter. You can
All right.
stop, shilling for digital gaming,
Mhm.
for subscription passes. It's like everything you shill for is the thing that the corporations want. And then
Right.
you're out here saying you're a revolutionary. Screw this. Da da da. I'm like, no, you are exactly the perfect consumer. And then you're trying to make everybody else who listens to your show to be the perfect consumer too. And then they'll tell you like, well, we don't give a fuck about this, Jaffe. We don't care about Game Pass. We don't care about blah, blah, blah. And then you'll get upset. because
Is
you've been
it
so
difficult to have a
indoctrinated by the
relationship when you have to pick your girlfriend up from school at 3 o'clock?
No, her
I'm
friends
just-
get jealous because
I'm
their
just
boyfriends don't have a car.
I understand. All right, goodbye, Pete
Yeah,
Turtle.
of
Be
course.
well, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll call him tomorrow. I'll call him
No,
tomorrow.
I'm waiting. Bye.
I'll see you.
Bated breath.
You goddamn right. That's Gabbing and Games, folks. Bukaki, any final words before we wrap up?
I don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore.
I know. All right. Well, fair enough. All right. Fellas, that's been Gabbing and Games. I am me. That is Bukaki. Members, thank you. Supporters, thank you. Haters, thank you. Lurkers, I don't fucking know. You know what? Of course, RBG, thank you for modding. And I don't know. That's it. I'm done. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 4:45 California time with Gene Park and I think Gaz from Game On Daily. We will be smoking the dope and watching the Game Awards. Hopefully you'll join us, and we'll see you then. Be well, everybody.
We will not be saying the N-word.
You goddamn right we won't. Fucking idiot. That guy's nuts. All right. Goodbye. See you guys. Let me put this up real quick. Where's the screen go? I don't fucking know.
Bye-bye.
Hang on.